Good morning, good evening, friends across the globe. A very important day in the history of India, Asia, at a global level on this unique joint webinar from the two oldest bodies in the world on Bio Agri Inputs, Asian PGPR, the Bhishma Pitamaha, Professor MS Reddy, founder chairman, started this long time ago. My interaction with Professor Reddy is just about a few years ago. But I see the passion, the zeal to be as back to as when he started this. In spite of multitasking, he ensures that he personally nurtures his baby even today. And BIPA, Bio Agri Inputs Producers Association, oldest organization again in the country, founded in 2003. Now it's fruiting, it's time, and a brainstorming session between these two societies is the culmination of today's webinar. Friends, it's not just a webinar. As you can see, a very, very familiar picture, a smile, you can make it out. Dr. S.K. Malhotra ji. Sir, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है बीपा और एशियन पीजीपीआर की ओर से और सारे अटेंडीज की ओर से. On behalf of everybody, at one small message, one small call, he agreed to be our chief guest and do two important deliveries today. A, launch BIPA's newsletter, which is going to be a quarterly newsletter called Eco Voice, the first edition. And he was kind enough to write a message and forward for the launch issue. Also, he is Dr. Malhotra, Commissioner of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, is going to guide us further with his remarkable inputs through keynote address. So with this, I request our Vice President, Lakshmi Narayan, to welcome the gathering, welcome the attendees who are pouring in large numbers. Just to mention, today we have registrations from 22 countries across the globe. Because the content is important, the subject is important, Dr. S.K. Malhotra is going to speak and the stalwarts here. And we are going to have not just presentations or discussions moderated by Professor MS Reddy, but it's going to be an interactive session. At the end of the session, after discussions of each speaker's inputs, we'll have panelists handpicked to speak to our speakers. Also, our audience or attendees who make this happen to speak to us. So not taking any longer, I request Lakshmi to please do the formalities of welcome the gathering and the attendees. And with the God's grace, let's start this session.
Thank you very much, Raj. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening for the global participants for today's joint webinar, first ever joint webinar conducted by Asian PGPR and BIPA together. We welcome you all on behalf of Asian PGPR and BIPA. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming Dr. Malhotra, Agriculture Commissioner, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Government of India, who has kindly consented to launch BIPA first newsletter, Eco Voice, and deliver today's keynote address. Dr. Malhotra is instrumental in bringing in changes in the policy matters to fast track Indian agriculture, and he is proactive in accepting the good inputs from the industry. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind consent for this. Today's joint webinar under the branding of BIPA Talks, role of PGPR as biostimulants to Bio Agri Inputs by the ever-energetic teams from Asian PGPR and BIPA from various parts of the world. This is a milestone as for the first time a discussion on aspects of the plant biostimulants right from research, development, production and commercialization are covered. To deliberate the subject on role of PGPRs as a biostimulant in Bio Agri Inputs, we have with us Professor M.S. Reddy, Founder Chairman, Asian PGPR Society, who is also going to be the moderator for this joint webinar. And we have Dr. Dilantha Fernando, Dean University of Manitoba, Canada, and Asian PGPR Society. Dr. John Peter, Vice President BIPA, is also here. Dr. K.R.K. Reddy, President BIPA. Dr. Srinivasan Ramaswamy, Flagship Program Leader, World Vegetable Center, Taiwan, and also Asian PGPR Society. We also have Dr. Sudha Reddy, Joint Secretary BIPA, and Dr. Venkatesh Devnod, Secretary BIPA. I also welcome the panelists and delegates who are attending this webinar and have been very supportive. And in fact, Raj was just telling us that this time the delegate registration was in excess of more than 700 people. And we are seeing a lot of enthusiasm world over to hear this first ever webinar, because it is very important to take it forward, because the entrepreneurs in Bio Agri Inputs, we are looking for make in India to really excel and reach the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi. Thank you, welcoming all. Go ahead, Raj.
Yes, thanks Lakshmi for this welcome address. I on behalf of Asian PGPR and BIPA, I beg my pardon to Dr. S.K. Malhotra, because in this pandemic times, incidentally, we are unable to offer him a bouquet, a shawl, and a plaque which is due from both of us to you, Doctor. मैं जब भी दिल्ली आऊँगा, I'll get it for you. Please unmute yourself, Doctor.
I think you have already shown such a love and affection. I think nothing is needed and nothing is valuable in front of those good words which you have used. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
You will get a bouquet when he signs the gadget notification.
Yes. Now since the ball is set, the stage is set. With we can see virtually, though we are all here in the dais. I request Professor M.S. Reddy Garu, Dr. M.S. Reddy, to please brief about Asian PGPR Society, or Dr. K.R.K. Reddy, either of whoever is ready.
I think everybody knows Asian PGPR. Let's start BIPA by K.R.K. Reddy first.
Oh, thank you, sir. Ross, is it visible to everyone?
Yes, just put it to the screen. Yeah, yes. That's perfect.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm just presenting you BIPA, Bio Agri Input Producers Association, which was established in the year 2003, which considers to be one of the earliest agri-biotech association in India. And the BIPA is a non-profit organization working towards the use of biological technologies, including all biopesticides, biofertilizers, biostimulants, semiochemicals, that is pheromones, to manage the crops in a ecologically sustainable way. So this is the primary objective of BIPA. Here I show the various objectives embedded and also the networking. So this is a organization, as I mentioned, NGO, non-governmental, as well as a non-profit organization. So which is established by professionals drawn from various walks of agri industry. So here we have the manufacturers and academicians and also the policymakers. So many people are joined together and formed the society more than a decade back. So the primary aim is to help members who are engaged into manufacturing of these biological agriculture inputs. There are many types of biological agri inputs. So maybe biopesticides, as I mentioned, biofertilizers and biostimulants, whatnot. So here to create a kind of a platform for all the manufacturers, including all the stakeholders like extension officers, researchers, and the policy makers, and also at how to take these biological agri inputs to the grassroots level. So this is the main objective of BIPA, and also helping all the manufacturers. There may be SMEs or multinationals or maybe small, big SSIs are there across the country, are so many regional players. There are so many technocrats, agriculture graduates or postgraduates, PhDs. They have come from various backgrounds or rural backgrounds. They have started these biological manufacturing units across the country. So it is all unite together and also fight for the cause. The cause is nothing but improving the use of or increasing the use of or popularizing use of biologicals and also safe formulations in Indian agriculture. So across this, educating the members on the development and also various regulatory requirements and also policy changes, and helping between the organizations, company to company, and also knowledge sharing on the research and also what is happening across the globe on the biological agri inputs, and also impress upon the policy makers, especially the governments. And we are really on crossroads and a critical phase actually our industry is passing through. So therefore, unite we together, definitely we can impress upon the government to promote these biological agri inputs in our country. So apart from that, BIPA is also wanted to conduct the various kinds of national and international seminars, summits, and also want to propose some kind of awards and recognitions for those people who are into this industry. And as of now, actually, last 1 year, we are very seriously into promoting agri inputs, and also we have seriously action plan. And if you look at, we have conducted seminars, and we are conducting web talks and also conferences, and we are coming up with the newsletters. So therefore, this is a very dynamic platform, and with assisted or maybe supported by a great advisory board from various, research institutions, academic institutions, and extension institutions. And we have listed here, we have 3 vice chancellors, 2 national directors, and professors who are well versed with these agricultural inputs or biologicals and research, extension, and academia. So it's a rich, support from scientific fraternity, and the BIPA is enjoying. Definitely, we thank all the advisory board members for their, in fact, actually support to BIPA. And so therefore, we request even the audience, we have a lot of audience are here, and also therefore we request all of them to become members. We invite to become the members, and therefore definitely you will enjoy and the benefits from BIPA. And if you log into our BIPA website, bipa.org, so where you will find the various kinds of what we wanted to do, and also the application, etc. And also you can express your interest. And finally, I thank Asian PGPR for associating, and also thank Professor MS Reddy, the founder chairman of Asian PGPR, agreeing to partner with the BIPA, and also agreeing for this BIPA Asian PGPR joint webinar on this aspect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, KRK. That's very good about BIPA and your members and the executive of BIPA and the advisory board members to BIPA. Very nice to see and hear not many of us, at least I know it, but not many panelists or the participants may not know about BIPA. So now it's well established BIPA. We, on behalf of Asian PGPR Society, it is our wish and our pleasure to associate with the BIPA in India. And you all know is Asian PGPR Society is a global, particularly Asian, country-wise, and we have a lot of members in our society. We wish you all, on behalf of our Asian PGPR Society, the best to the BIPA from now on. Yes, after that, we'll talk about our Asian PGPR Society. Just a brief introduction. Many of you already know about Asian PGPR Society. Some of the slides I have here. Raj, can you see this?
Yeah.
Oh, go back. Sorry.
Yeah, we can see, Doctor. You can go for the full screen.
Yeah. I think it is a full screen, though.
Yes, it is.
It is a full screen.
Yeah.
So Asian PGPR, that's our logo for sustainable agriculture, registered in India first, then also registered in the United States. It is a non-profit organization, scientific society. And you see on the right side, we would like to cover all our Asian countries. So far, we have covered some countries. We're planning to move to cover all, at least not all the countries, at least the areas around in this Asian continent. The background for this Asian PGPR Society formation, before Asian PGPR Society, we have PGPR. You may not call society, is not registered anywhere, even so far. My mentor and the father of PGPRs per se, Dr. J.W. Klopper, is my colleague here at Auburn University, Auburn, Alabama, United States. We're in the same department. We started actually in 1987 to talk about the PGPRs around the globe. Our wish at that time to go around the globe, every continent. So far, we have covered 11 international workshops. We call workshops. Started in Canada, then moved to Switzerland, Australia, Japan, Argentina. I brought the group to India, Netherlands, United States, Colombia, Belgium, Canada. Because that time in 1987, I was in Canada. I'm a Canadian citizen too. Except South African continent, the Russia, except African continent and Russia, we covered most of the continents so far. Someday we might go to Africa. But with this is the first meeting, long time ago, 1987, group of friends from across the globe, this picture. With this background, our late Dr. Y.R. Sharma, see, is not on this earth right now, he's in heaven. This man visited me 2 or 3 times to my university, Auburn, here in the United States. Here is his wife, is no more, but he has 3 lovely daughters. Like to salute him and salute his family to put his efforts into his brain, into my brain. Look, you've been going around the continents. It's very hard for our Indians or our Asian scientists to participate. Why don't you start? Asian PGPR Society. He gave me a word, took that word, that was a thought, 2008. Then the thought became a seed, seed became a plant, plant became a big sustainable ecosystem over the years. So now we are in 2020, we're almost 1,500 plus life members in our society. Compared to many scientific society, I think we're back to back competing with those scientific societies, I think. With this, our colleague, I call her sister, Krishna Sundari, put together this slide the other day. I'm sharing our slide, borrowed her slide. This Asian PGPR has executive body, means all the, just like other societies, executive body, just like a BIPA. And we're changing that executive body into new phases because we have grew from 2009 to 20. So we will be releasing the new executive body in a few weeks or months from now on. We have secretaries, we have treasurer, and it is a non-profit. We submit our tax reports to the United States government because it is registered in the United States. Again, this slide is also a borrowed slide from Dr. Sheshadri the other day. He sent me this slide. What is our effort? Asian PGPR to initiate, execute, collaborate, implement. That's our mandate on these microbial inoculants, or we may call biofertilizers, biofungicide, bioherbicide, bioinsecticide, biostimulant. I call them all together biosolutions, from starting from lab to the field. Ours is not a company, is a knowledge sharing association. So we help all this kind of stuff from starting identification, isolation, fermentation, molecular aspects, mean mode of action, and the statistical analysis, all kind of stuff through this society to help our life members and other people, industry, or academicians, government bureaucrats. I just mentioned, so we help them wherever is needed from our society. Knowledge and product sharing among us, because ours is a non-profit, wherever needed, from our life members, from other non-life members, and other members of the global network. With that, we have started our own conferences every 2 years. We started one in Hyderabad, India, because the association started from United Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad city. So we had our first conference in Hyderabad at Acharya Ranga Nagarjuna University, Rajendra Nagar, Hyderabad, right now Telangana state. Beautiful 300 plus members joined. Then after that, 2 years later, we took our association to Beijing, China, wonderful conference. Then Manila, Philippines, Hanoi, Vietnam, Bogor, Indonesia. Last year, we had an excellent conference, Tashkent, Uzbekistan. We're supposed to have this next year in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Due to our COVID, we moved this to 2022. The dates have not confirmed yet. Maybe in August, I'm not sure yet, or September, probably. My colleague, Dr. Klopper, we decided, hey, I don't want to touch Asia. We made clear, he's not going to step into my association, and I'm not going to step into his interest in Latin America. He learned Spanish very well. So he's doing, but I think they're a little bit slow, way behind. There's no registration, nothing, no website for them, whatever. I'm not going into that. These are our happy family, extended family of Asian PGPR Society. All the happy faces, some of them may be listening here. 300 plus, we gathered in Beijing, China. Again, this group, we joined in Manila, Philippines, then joined again in Vietnam, and Bogor, Indonesia. Then last year, Uzbekistan, Tashkent, Uzbekistan. 6 international conference, 6 times 300, is 2,000 people. Most of them, I think, coming from each meeting. If I gathered all these people together, network, 2,000 plus members in our society. Whenever we go to each country, we talk to local executive body, local organizers. Hey, well, I cannot come to your country, and we convinced them, why don't you start your own chapter under our parental Asian PGPR Society for Sustainable Agriculture? Everybody agreed. Of course, my mother country, our country, India, took initiation. They started their own India chapter under the leadership of Dr. Riyaz Syed. We decided when we were in Bogor, Indonesia, is going very well. Then I went to Sri Lanka after that. They agreed to have their own chapter. From there, my friends in Saudi Kingdom, they agreed to have their own chapter. We haven't started Turkey, but the Turkey group is very much interested. They're going to register their chapter. And our neighboring country colleagues and friends, they're very aggressive, active, starting their own Pakistan chapter of Asian PGPR Society. Tashkent people means Uzbekistan. Indonesian people, Malaysian. Right now, the Indonesia chapter is very active and Malaysia chapter is very active. So it's going around. I hopefully have at least 20 chapters before I take retirement from this Asian PGPR Society. I hope so. Again, as I just mentioned, this is not one person activity. Here is our Malhotra ji. We met him in New Delhi. You know, every year, wherever I travel around the globe, I have to meet them and talk to them. Hey, this is our society. This is our friendship. So we have several MOUs. So that's what I would like to show some of our friendly, extended family faces here from Sri Lanka, from Taiwan, from Saudi Kingdom. You see the Saudis people, Taiwan, everywhere. I met first time Dr. Srinu Ramasamy in Sri Lanka, and then in his own country, in his own place in Taiwan. And our recent good meeting in Acharya Nagarjuna University in Guntur last year. Then the last one, Tashkent internationally. And we associated with the IPS, Indian Phytopathological Society in New Delhi. Dr. Annapurna, Dr. Kumar had their Asian PGPR workshop along with the IPS. It was wonderful. And this is a Tashkent University Vice Chancellor, President. So I'm showing, so we have as a collective, cooperative, friendly scientists, experts, bureaucrats, academicians, students, postdocs. I just want to show the next meeting, national meetings coming up in Bhopal, hopefully next year. This is the brochure. We have circulated that. The last but least, not only we talk, we take all the papers and abstracts and we normally publish them in with various publishers. With that, I welcome you all. Thank you for participating. And we'll move on the agenda. In the agenda, the next one, I would like to request and invite Srinu Ramaswamy
Professor, sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. The next
Yeah.
on the agenda is launch of EcoWise. And
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. You go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. So, Professor, thank you so much for giving such a detailed information about Asian PGPR with the global print. Now it's time for Dr. S.K. Malhotra to do the honors of launching our EcoVoice. Dr. Saab, just I would like to brief a minute about the EcoVoice. EcoVoice again is a it was a roundtable discussion amongst the core committee members in BIPA that how do we disseminate knowledge, information about various activities. Then we felt that we should have a committee. Now we have an editorial committee which has taken a lot of pains to collate and bring together, headed by Dr. John Peter, who is the vice president of BIPA, along with the president and secretary, that is Dr. K.R. Reddy and Venkatesh Devnur. So, Dr. Saab, please do the honors of launching the thing, and you have taken the pains to print it in color and do it all the more. Great, Doctor. So, for the benefit of audience, if I am permitted, with the permission of Commissioner of Agriculture, I will quickly go through, take through a screen share of the EcoVoice so people can have a quick feel of it. And we'll be mailing to all the registrations from whom we have received today. Besides, globally, it will be circulated to almost 10,000 email data which we have with us. So, in maybe next few days, you would all be getting. With the permission of Agriculture Commissioner, I'm just trying to screen share the EcoVoice so people can feel how it looks. Hope you can all see this.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the first page, is the first edition. Dr. John Peter has taken the real, pains and interest to create this, and we have Dr. Malhotra, Commissioner of Agriculture, having the forward given to us. That's a great encouragement to us, Dr. Saab, who will cherish from here. And Dr. John Peter, would you like to brief next pages?
Certainly. The next page is the editor's voice, where we have been discussing when BIPA is formed and what are all the roles and responsibilities have taken by BIPA for the past 18-19 years, and subsequently how it is dealing with the biostimulants, biopesticides, all those things. The next page is the address of the president as well as the secretary, Dr. KRK and Dr. Venkatesh Devnur, and the fourth page is all the other members of BIPA with the photographs. And BIPA heartily welcomes the recent Government of India's announcement of integrating the chemical fertilizer with the biofertilizers. And this is about the recent announcement and the welcome. And subsequently, Dr. M.S. Rao, the former principal scientist of Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, has written why microbiome is important for doubling the farmer's income in India. So the following page, Dr. Devnur, with his immense travel experience, is written the economics of microbial formulations across the globe. Next. And subsequently, the guidelines for the new members and their benefits, these things are covered in this first issue. And the next issue, we will be focusing more on the regulatory frameworks and the requirement, the recent development in science and technology of the microbes, and the special articles on microbes we will be covering. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. I know, as I mentioned, we would be circulating to 10,000 direct emails, and from there it will have its own multiple effect. So we expect this newsletter to cover even 10,000. One person sends to 10, so it becomes about 1 lakh. So that's a power of circulation we will be having. So it also gives the membership details. You can get in touch with me, ed@bipaindia.org. And with a very nominal fee, we have also encouraged the sponsorship, or when we say advertisements in BIPA Eco Voice. So you are welcome to approach us, and with a very nominal fee, you can reach, as I said, about 1 lakh readers. So with that, thank you, Dr. John. Thanks, Dr. Malhotra sir, for launching this maiden issue. And I'm sure it's going to grow strength to strength with your guidance and inputs. Now, we request Dr. Malhotra to please deliver his keynote address.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Namaskar, everybody. I'm really very happy to be here with you all on the occasion of this important conference, role of PGPRs as biostimulants in Bio Agri Inputs. Very important theme area has been chosen by the BIPA as well as by PGPR Society. Both of the societies are very important societies. I'm really very happy to be here with you all on the occasion of launching of this important publication, Eco Voice. So there is no doubt about it that BIPA is doing a good job in the area of promotion of these bioorganic inputs in agriculture through knowledge sharing. And again, it's also proving as an important platform for business and technology sharing. So far as Asian PGPR is concerned, Dr. Reddy is available with us. I'm in touch with him, and we used to discuss through WhatsApp messages as well as through our another social medias with relation to these biosolutions in agriculture, how we can provide such biosolutions in agriculture. Well, this Asian PGPR Society is also doing a great job in a global society, which is doing a great work in the furtherance of eco-friendly solutions in agriculture. I must give compliments to both of these societies, BIPA as well as Asian PGPR. I remember when we formulated the guidelines, the draft guidelines, we received the input from BIPA also. I must congratulate them for proactive action. I must congratulate Asian PGPR Society for their excellent comments whenever we needed they gave. As we know that there are 5 inputs. We were taught during our bachelor degree program that these are 5 inputs which are very important. One is seed, fertilizer, pesticide, water, but we were taught only 4. But later on, I added one more, that was bees. I remember when I was Horticulture Commissioner, then a national bee mission was started. Then I added that yes, bees should be considered as 5th important input. But anyway, it was agreed upon, and then the national bee mission has been started in the country. Today we have 17 integrated bee development centers. So now the next input comes, that's a biostimulant, I should say. I'm linking it with the biostimulants. It will be the 6th input, important input I think we need to consider. Why do we need to consider? Because here in our country, a lot of production comes from the semi-arid ecosystem, where we experience so many stresses, whether it's pests, diseases, sometimes salinity, and then we have sodicity, sometimes we have drought-like situations. So there are many vulnerable areas where we need to see that how we can address that issue. So biostimulant, it seems to be one of the area which could help in resolving that issue, and further, I mean, this stress could be easily governed if biostimulants are used. And for government of India has already set the agenda, and we have identified the priority crops. One is pulses, another is oil seeds. And both of the sector of agriculture are grown, both of the crop components are grown in the arid ecosystem, where we need to try these biostimulants. I remember few of the companies, when they approached to me, I requested them, you try these biostimulants in arid ecosystem. We want to promote more and more oil seeds. We want to increase our production for productivity-led growth we want to achieve. So you need to conduct trials in the different agroclimatic conditions, so that we could reach to some conclusion that yes, in real sense, these biostimulants will play a greater role. Yes, we agree with you that this biostimulants in agriculture is an emerging area. And it's an area of interest across the world these days, because it increases the efficiency for nutrient use, tolerance to the stresses, and improving the quality of the produce. This is one of the important attribute, I think, which we can, the benefit which we can accrue through the use of these biostimulants. That's one of the important points we should say. I remember when this issue was raised in the ministry, being a technical head in the ministry, I was asked whether we should promote these biostimulants. Do we need to have a regulatory system in the country? And I strongly advocated, yes, we need to have a kind of system in the country. And then since we have, because we deal with the agriculture development part in the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation. We have two wings in the Ministry of Agriculture. One is Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, and another wing is Department of Agriculture Research and Education. So primarily this DARE, where ICR is a very important part, it is the apex body which deals with the all research aspects. Then I recommended that yes, though we have a lot of information available with us, but we need to ask ICR, and they need to ascertain that do India needs to have a kind of regulatory system. We need to promote these biostimulants in the country. We have fertilizers available with us. We have biofertilizers. We have biopesticides. So then the concept came that yes, biostimulants, they have a different kind of benefits which plants will get, crops will get. Then who will register it? That was a big challenge before us, because we were having already two regulatory authorities available in the ministry, and we have these two regulatory authorities. One is Registration Committee of Central Insecticide Board, and then another one is which relates to Central Fertilizer Committee. Incidentally, I am the chair of both of these committees. So here I was asked where to fit these biostimulants, whether we can fit into CIBRC part or we can fit into fertilizers. A lot of discussion took place, and we consulted the industry. Several suggestions came, and many of the people, they are Dr. Reddy, he's also, Mr. KRK Reddy is also smiling. He was also the part of it when we discussed these all things. So here, then it was decided, if we give this assignment to Central Insecticide Board and Registration Committee, the situation will become more complicated, because their guidelines are more stringent, because they consider toxicological part in a more aggressive way. Either it is acute toxicity or it is a dermal toxicity. It's acute, that's the part of acute only. And then this chronic toxicity, I think, acute and chronic toxicity, both were, means they do it in a more stringent way. And then several questions cropped up in our mind, that to whom we should give it. Are we in a position to establish active ingredients? In case of chemicals, what we do, we can establish the active ingredients. We are aware about this. this is the active ingredient which is available into it, and this is the technical, and further we make the formulations. So these all are the bioproducts. So could we establish these active ingredients? So these active ingredients, again, these will be variable since these all are the bioproducts. So these all were the questions which were discussed in depth, those were discussed. And then ultimately we arrived at a conclusion that fertilizer control order, where we have central fertilizer committee, we need to put in fertilizer control order, and we need to have a separate committee, just like central fertilizer committee, we need to have central biostimulant committee. So it is a CBC which I proposed, and then that proposal was accepted, and the guidelines were discussed in collaboration with ICR. Honorable DG ICR was the chair of that committee. And then they arrived at some conclusion that these are the broad guidelines, that those broad lines were brought into, and then several, those guidelines were put on the website for suggestions, and we received several suggestions. BIPA also gave the suggestions. I was just, I cited at the outset that BIPA proactively, they gave their very good comments, and those comments were considered, few of the comments, but anyway, there were some general comments were really accepted, but for specific comments, the room has been kept open for a central biostimulant committee, that they will consider product specific guidelines, because biostimulants have been again categorized into the eight product categories. So product wise, some specific guidelines will be made. Broad guidelines are already available, because there are some compounds or products where we need to have more studies. We need to have more data related to bioefficacy, no problem. Bioefficacy information will be there, that trials are required to be conducted for 1 season or 2 seasons, or in the different agroclimatic zones, those are required to be conducted, and then they need to submit the dossier accordingly. So this is one part. Then chemistry is there. So chemistry establishment, in some cases we can establish, in some cases we can't. So we need to see that where we can relax for the toxicological studies and where we can't, because there are some instances where we could notice that these biostimulants are being sold in the market, which are laced with the pesticides. There were instances. So we came across that people are now, I mean, they are trading biostimulants, but those are laced with the pesticides. Because farmer, they want immediate result. By biostimulants, they will take some time. So that's why people will add some pesticides into it, or they may add something else into it, and they want some immediate results, and then they want to show that, yes, this is a biostimulant. Then again, it was a challenge before us, that if you consider biostimulants for registration, okay, but the industry may come forward with some combination products, biostimulant with biofertilizers, biostimulants with chemical fertilizers, biostimulants with biopesticides, biostimulants with the biocontrol agents, or something means some combinations. So who will register them again? Because there are more than two agencies are involved into it for registration. Who will do this? So this is again putting a question before you all. You need to help us and tell us that how such points are required to be resolved. So I hope that you will also brainstorm and tell us and guide us that how we can further do this part. And then again, one question and one feedback came from the farmers, that farmers are also producing the biostimulants. If farmers are producing biostimulants at their farm level, farm gate level, so should we register it? Then we exempted the farmers. If farmer, he will produce these biostimulants at its own farm, then he will be exempted, and we have already put a limit that about 200 liters or 200 kg, something he can produce, but he will not do some commercial activity. So he will produce for his own consumption. So this is one of the amendment. We have done it in the guideline. We have included it because we want to safeguard the interest of the farmers also, because farmer will not be in a position to get it tested at the laboratories and others, and then he will not be in a position to ascertain some kind of quality parameters and others. So these were the points which we discussed. And then one more point also came, that industries, they are already doing business for biostimulants. So if industry already they are doing a business, so you are all of a sudden you are going to put a kind of condition that now onwards you need to have a kind of registration. So for that purpose, we have provided a window for 1 year to the existing players in the market. So for 1 year, what they will do, they will continue their activities, but they need to develop the data. So in some cases, you need to develop the data for 2 years. So again, he will submit a proof that yes, he has started doing activities and he has started generating the data. So then again, we can accord 1 more year permission for that. So this much kind of relaxation, we have already done it. So I would like to share with you that here now the present position is that these biostimulant guidelines, which we presented before the Honorable Agriculture Minister, he has approved it in principle. And now the draft, that notification that is available with a legal cell. So we have a legal cell, one big legal cell is there where a lot of cases, they are in queue. So yesterday only our group of experts, they went there and they briefed the legal advisor. And I hope within the next 7 days or 10 days, we'll be in a position to see the face of biostimulant guidelines. So friends, this is the, I should say that this is the journey which I am sharing, the biostimulants journey. It took about 1.5 years to reach to this stage. I'm really very happy that here PGPR Society as well as BIPA, this association, they both have taken this initiative for exclusive discussion on this PGPR as well as biostimulants. And here this agri input delivery system we really need to have. We need to have a quality assurance system in the country. So now government is also thinking on that area, and we are in action. If you could see that in the very recently, we have done a kind of sudden checking at the different places. No one was knowing in the industry, products were picked up, and just to know that what is happening in case of pesticides, we have done it. So since I am dealing both these pesticides as well as fertilizers, so it has become easy for me to handle this biostimulant also. So we will handle biostimulant also. I remember when our Secretary Agriculture, he's the Chief Secretary Agriculture, he asked me, will you be in a position to do? Sir, it's not a problem. Though I am a plant breeder, professionally trained plant breeder, I'm not a chemist or I'm not, but I'll be in a position to handle the situation. So I'm trying my best. So, but we need your input. We need your suggestions because this is a draft now. So several suggestions will come. We will keep on revising it and amending it, and further it will come in a good shape where we will be in a position to register the biostimulants. So I think a good time is coming where we shall be having the good products, new options which will be available. Thank you so much for giving me a chance to share my views. I am very, very happy to be here with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Malhotra ji. Thank you both dhanyawad. Both dhanyawad. You know, Dr. Malhotra ji, you know, I'm very fascinated. You were so active and so meticulously attend for each and every message. I congratulate you. I thank you very much for your, I think you maybe you're working more than hours, more 16, 20 hours a day, I believe, because morning and evening or afternoon, midnight, I see your messages. You are very prompt. Sir, I thank you very much. God bless you all the time for India, for your family, for all our societies. Your help needed, your blessings are needed. Last question to you. Is there any way, can you bring the ICAR Director General someday on this kind of webinar for Asian PGPR Society and affiliated society? One day I would like to see him talk just like you to the global PGPRs, BIPAs, or biostimulants, whatever you may call. I would like to see his blessings for this kind of interaction.
I'll definitely, I will give him the feedback, and I'll brief him regarding this program.
But I need to see him live. I need to see him live.
So I think he will be very happy. I assure you for his participation.
Oh, excellent. That's all I'm looking. Thank you very much.
I think
with that, thank you. Raj,
yes.
You go ahead, congratulate him on behalf of BIPA.
Yeah, I think
EcoWise.
Yes, that honors I would leave it to our secretary, Dr. Devnur, to do it. Though it is, it's not part of my agenda, but I'm sure Dr. Devnur is known for his extempore thing. And I saw him, amongst all of us, everybody, even all the attendees, though we can't see them, they were all ears to Dr. Malhotra. So awesome, Dr. and thanks for facilitating, rather inviting on our behalf, Director General ICAR, and so that we will soon have him, and he's an awesome guy like you. He's great supporter of sustainable agriculture for the country. I request Dr. Devnur to do the honors of honor
maybe
Dr.
Raj, give me few seconds.
I'll come back to you, Doctor.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
Dr. V, please.
Good evening, and thanks for this very impromptu opportunity of giving our positive feedback. It's our immense luck and privilege to have Dr. S.K. Malhotra-ji, Commissioner Agriculture, to be live, sparing us so much quality time to be with all of us. That's the most important thing, is to get such a quality time. And journey he expressed about how this biostimulants has caught his attention, how the policy framework is being developed. We are very happy, sir. The industry is extremely thankful for you taking such an interest. As a plant breeder, you know how to breed good things. Another good breeding program you brought in now is this biostimulants committee and the regulatory. We look forward for this kind of a very thoughtful thing. We only request from all stakeholders the Democratic Squad of the Essential Commodities Act aspect. Can that be taken out of this regulatory? That's the only submission which we would again formally make it on behalf of all associations. And we are very thankful. We need this regulatory with benevolence and such a guidance, what you have been developing framework. We are very, very thankful to you. Thank you very much, sir, for this great first-hand message to us. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr.
Thank
Dev.
you.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Dr. V. On this occasion, I have to congratulate and I have to thank Dr. V for his generous sponsorship, without even being asking, giving us 5,000 United States dollars to Asian PGPR Society. So this morning, Dr. V, sir, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And KRK?
Yes, Dr. KRK,
it is only especially thank Dr. Malhotra-ji. So with a great hesitation, I sent a message to you for launching BIPA EcoWise. But see, for my surprise, I got yes, just within no time. Thank you so much, sir. I have not seen such kind of a bureaucrat last my 25 years of business career, techno-business career. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot for accepting and launching this EcoWise of BIPA. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. With that, Raj?
Yeah, with that, I think I just want to say Dr. Malhotra has proved one of those people who say that a busy man always has time. So he has taken out time and he spent so much time, more than an hour.
He's coming to Bali, he's coming to Malaysia.
Wow.
I'm flying him out from New Delhi. So
yes.
Don't worry. So we have a lot of time.
Absolutely.
We will have a fun time with him.
Yes. Dr. Malhotra, Dhanyavad, thank you so much. And, we have globally attendees with us. It is live on YouTube. Many people watching us on YouTube too. We are my back-end team is telling encouraging response from every corners of the world, right on YouTube and as the webinar we're doing. Now, without losing much time, Dr. M.S. Reddy, the second part, post-interval part, is the webinar for which we have all gathered today, besides the launch of EcoWise and Keynote address from Dr. Malhotra.
With that, I would like to bring back our close friend, one of my best friend, and world famous entomologist, born and raised in Tamil Nadu, who right now in world headquarters in Taiwan for vegetables. Dr. Srini, I would like to bring him because it's too late for him. He's going to brief us. Question to him. Dr. Ramaswamy, what expertise you could offer to move forward globally for bio egg stimulants and PGPR, and your knowledge, the market scenario in Asian countries. Srinu, would like to hear on this subject.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Reddy, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I'm always happy to represent Asian PGPR Society. I couldn't resist any invitation from Dr. Reddy so far. So that's the reason I'm here, although it's almost like 10:30 p.m. But I really enjoy joining all the meetings arranged by Asian PGPR Society as well as the BIPA. So yeah, based on the question, based on my experience over the last 17 years in both Asia and Africa, I just like to briefly give you the status of biopesticides in the context of pest management systems in Asia and Africa. So as Dr. Reddy mentioned, I have been heading the flagship program, which is called Safe and Sustainable Value Chains, based at World Vegetable Center's headquarters. Probably you might be knowing it as AVRDC, Asian Vegetable Research and Development Center, which has been transformed as a World Vegetable Center in the last decade. Okay. When we talk about biopesticides, still, you know, predominantly the products are microbial pesticides. Then when we further segregate the microbial pesticides, you know, 90% of the microbial pesticides are based on Bacillus thuringiensis, which has come to the market almost a century ago. So why I am highlighting this one, still there is a lot of gap where the scientific community need to bring lots of innovative and new products to be commercialized by the industry eventually. So looking at the biopesticides, you know, there are over 200 products in the United States. Comparatively, it's only 60 products in EU. Probably you all might be aware of the reasons because of the complexity associated with the registration of these biopesticides in EU compared to North America. And again, worldwide, almost like 45% of the biopesticides are sold in just in United States, Canada, and Mexico. And what about Asia? Sadly, it's only about 5% of the biopesticides. Why is it like this? Okay. One of the reasons is the complexity of pests and diseases. I keep insisting in several of the meetings where I participate, you know, in the farmers' context, they need a holistic solution. So in the tropical situation, be it in Asia or in Africa, there is a plethora of pests and diseases attacking a crop. So as a farmer, I would like to get a holistic solution, an innovative product, which can offer a broad range of solutions to me. But as I indicated, there is a lack of product. There are few products dominate in the market, and still there are lots of gap, especially for managing the plant diseases and also the sucking insects. And the other issue is the diverse agroclimatic conditions. Even if you take the Asian situation, there are like arid regions, semi-arid region, humid tropics, dry and hot tropical regions. So we need to have the product portfolio fitting for these different agroclimatic conditions. And the most important factor I would highlight is the lack of push and pull factors. What I mention as push factor here is the scaling out, the promotion of these biological inputs. Quite often it comes as a recommendation, an individual recommendation by a sole institute like a university or just by a research institute. But I don't see any large scale movement for promoting bioproducts to reduce the chemical inputs in many countries in both Asia and Africa. The other side, when we move to the consumer end, it's called the pull factors. Because quite often I used to come across farmers who tell me, okay, I produce the food crops or vegetable crops or fruits using all these biological inputs. So it's a safe produce. But when I take it to the market, nobody differentiate it. I don't get any economic incentive for these things. Of course, there are emerging niche markets coming, like organic markets or gap markets, but they are all very tiny, which is not catering to the number of farmers who are willing to produce these things in a safe way. So the pull factor is still lacking in many of these countries. And the last factor is the lack of enabling environment. As I indicated, there are not many large-scale initiatives in terms of promoting these biological products. Okay, just I like to quickly highlight some of this current situation in terms of biopesticide market and the use in Asia. I don't think I need to highlight anything for India because there are lots of experts, industrial experts who know the situation very well. But the reason I put India here is it's a very advanced country in terms of bringing the bio inputs into the market. Long back, our personal association happened in the beginning of 2000s for the pheromones, when there were no exclusive regulatory dossier for commercializing the pheromones, but quickly it was just put under the same pesticide registration under the CIB, and they exempted some of the data requirement. You know, the first product we brought to India was the pheromone for the eggplant fruit and shoot bearer. You know the importance of this pest and how much pesticide being applied in the eggplant crop. One of the basic statistics which we did in 2002 or 2003 showed it like 80 to 180 sprayings per season in an eggplant crop. So that's the reason we wanted to bring this the pheromone. And this was quickly put into the registration system. I think by the end of 2005, there were like 9 companies who got registration for this product and started selling. So this is just one example to highlight where India was a pioneering country to bring the biological inputs as an effective alternative for the chemical inputs. Then coming to Bangladesh, everything started from very, very rudimentary stage. You know, after sustained effort for a couple of years, it happened, I think in mid 2009, it was July 2009, where they got the biopesticide legislation, which eventually led to the commercialization of the bioproducts in Bangladesh. But now, Bangladesh is one of the most advancing countries in terms of bringing lots of bioproducts. If I recall correctly, based on my interaction during a visit in early 2019 to the country, there were 60 biological products were in the pipeline to be launched within the 2019. Okay, now let us move to the 2 countries in Southeast Asia, Thailand and Vietnam. The reason I put them, they are also quite advanced countries, in terms of bringing lots of biological inputs into the market. And here comes the push factor. They both launched the good agricultural practices, the GAP. In Thailand, it's called a QGAP. In Vietnam, it's called a Viet GAP. And because of the promotion of the GAP certification system among the producers, they were mandated to look for all these safe alternatives, which created a big market demand for the safe alternatives. So the products were picked up quite well. So there are a number of products available in the market in these countries. But if you look at the last two countries in Southeast Asia, the situation was very different. But luckily, there was a big initiative from the German government side. So the German Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, they implemented a huge project to harmonize the regulatory processes for commercializing the biocontrol agents across the Southeast Asian nations. So this project provided a basic platform to develop the regulatory dossier for commercializing the bio inputs in these countries. But then simultaneously, the Japanese government was pumping a lot of money to develop the GAP certification standards to be launched in both these Cambodia and Lavopedia. So simultaneously, there were a kind of like push factor and also a pull factor working together. So Cambodia finally launched its biopesticide legislation by December 2017, 3 years ago, which brought lots of products into the market. And one thing I like to highlight here, more than half of the products in Cambodia are coming from India. Cambodia doesn't have the capacity to manufacture within the country of all these products. To my knowledge, they have only one indigenous product based on the trichoderma. So most of the other products are coming from the Indian companies filling the market, and it's being widely adopted by all these organic farmers, GAP farmers. But if you look at the last country in the list, although the GAP standard was launched, was promoted among the farmers, still it is in a very rudimentary state where the companies are not bringing any products so far in the market, but the ground is there. So what I meant to say here, Laos is having a huge opportunity, but still there is a gap to be filled in terms of biological products. Okay, let me quickly move to Africa. Of course, Africa is a large continent with a huge difference between the countries. So let me take the East Africa versus West Africa. East Africa is very well known for horticulture, especially for the flower industry and also some of the vegetable industry, which are predominantly being exported to the European Union. So because of the horticultural industry, there is always a big demand for the plant protection products. So in the recent times, because of the strict regulations from the EU side, in terms of the pesticide residues in all these producers or the planting materials in terms of the flower crops, all these producers are forced to look for the safe alternatives. And at the same time, there are a couple of private sector who started investing in East African countries. And I must say, there are lots of efforts. I mean, the R&D efforts being put forward by the International Center of Insect Physiology and Ecology, who has the largest collection of the, say, all these microbial pathogenic organisms controlling insect pests or diseases in their gene bank. So they also try to pass several most virulent strains to these interstate companies. So there are lots of products being launched in the last 5 to 10 years in the East African market. I would say it's a huge effort in terms of public-private partnership. So it brought several innovative products into the market, which also spread across the countries in the region like Tanzania and Ethiopia. However, in terms of adoption rate, still there is a huge variation when we compare countries like Kenya versus Tanzania or Ethiopia. But relatively, the increased adoption of biological products is much higher in East Africa compared to West Africa. Then again, I would like to highlight here, several of the products are also coming from the Indian companies targeting this part of Africa. So there is again a huge opportunity existing to fill the gap in this part of the world. However, the West Africa situation is very, very different because the horticulture industry is much smaller compared to East Africa. So there are still very less efforts, and mainly these efforts are put forward by the international organizations like International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, and the role of private sector participation is much lesser compared to East Africa. And still the commercialization is happening through the NGOs or a kind of like social enterprises in West Africa. So the bottom line is there is a huge potential still existing in this continent, in both the East and West Africa, especially in the humid regions where water availability is more contributing for the horticultural industry. So still there is a huge vacuum which can be filled by the most experienced companies in India or the other part of the world. So with this, I like to stop to provide more room for discussion. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srini. So Dr. Ramasamy, wonderful. You covered the Asian continent and African continent all the time. You have a lot of knowledge in your brain. I must say here to the audience, he has a genius son, ranked top in Asia, and he's playing every competition he participates. He's the winner. He all the time is a winner. He's planning to send his son to the United States for further education. I promised him, please, anytime, any help needed, I gave my word to him, Dr. Ramasamy. All the best to your family and your son, and to the, you're wonderful all the time. I hear from you from Sri Lanka to Taiwan, wherever I met you in the United States. You were always give us a very, very clear picture. There's no such hidden things. I like it. I appreciated it. I thank you very much. I think it's time for you to go to bed. And if anybody has any question to Ramasamy, because he has to sleep, so please, Dr. Raj, he has any panelist has any question to him?
No, we said to the panelists that we'll take the questions at the end. So they.
Yeah, I know he's going. So that's okay. Thank you, Srinu. So good night to you. Yeah, good night to you from all of us. Thank you very much. We'll catch you some other time. Thank you. The next speaker, I think has another. He has to go and teach to the students. Another my best friend, born and raised in Sri Lanka, educated from the United States, and moved back to Canada. Is now a very famous international scientist, come a professor, come a dean of the University of Manitoba, Canada. He's a man, has a lot of knowledge, is a prolific writer, teacher, got a lot of awards from several societies, particularly from the United States. Now is the president of the Canadian Phytopathological Society. And without any hesitation, and it's my pleasure today here, Dr. Dilantha Fernanda. Please give your remarks to this audience and the panelists. The question I have to you, what expertise you could offer to move forward globally for Bio Agri Stimulants and the PGPR scope of your knowledge, the market scenario of the United States and Canada, and also Sri Lanka. Please, Dilantha, that's the time for you.
Namaste. Thank you, Professor Reddy. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to share my thoughts, my my research under the context of the topic that the BIPA had asked me to talk to. And Dr. Reddy, I need to mention to this audience how far we go as friends, colleagues, scientists, and with the Asian PGPR. So you have been a great mentor to many, and I have been so lucky to be part of that process over the years. I remember participating in the very first Asian PGPR conference, and then several others, including the one in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, where Dr. Dilfuza and you organized the conference. So thank you. And thank you very much to BIPA for inviting me to give this talk. It's a pleasure to be with all of you. There are several familiar faces. Thank you, Raj. Thank you, Dr. KRK, for inviting me and meeting a few of the new people as well. So with that, I will now start to share my screen. So there I go. So can you see the screen now?
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
Okay. So, as Professor Reddy mentioned, I work at the University of Manitoba. I'm a dean and also a professor in the Department of Plant Science. So I want to mention that this year in especially is noted as the International Year of Plant Health. So we were, as the Canadian side, we were planning a big celebration. Unfortunately, due to the COVID, we could not do that. As the president of the CPS and now the past president of CPS, we were planning to do a major event under this particular theme because of the plant health. Now, talking about biostimulants, I don't have to mention to this august audience that plant health is the predominant part of what we do with biostimulants and PGPRs. So before I go further, I wanted to let you know that as Professor Reddy mentioned, I'm from that region, India, close to India. I'm from Sri Lanka. I work in Canada and now I'm a Canadian citizen, but my roots and my thoughts and my upbringing, everything is from Sri Lanka. So this is the University of Peradeniya. Dr. Lakshmi has been there and a few of you may have visited. It's one of the most beautiful universities that I have visited across the world. So if you get a chance to either go to Sri Lanka, please make sure that you visit the University of Peradeniya in the beautiful city of Kandy. So that was what I looked like. So I just wanted to that because I have lost all my hair now. So I wanted to show you that I had a lot of hair, but with maybe it's the science, maybe it's the water, but I have lost that eventually. So right now I work at the University of Manitoba, the oldest Western university in Canada. And it's on the banks of the Red River, which flows from the United States through to Churchill, where it meets the ocean. So we have about 35,000 students. And one of the hallmarks of working at the University of Manitoba is to work on the crop canola. Now, canola was first developed at the University of Manitoba. Most of you may not know that. So just like the mustard oil, canola oil is extremely popular, and it was first developed by a professor in the Department of Plant Science, Professor Baldur Stephenson, who is known as the father of canola, like what Professor Reddy was mentioning about Professor Klapper being the father of PGPR. Now this is a $26 billion crop just in Canada, and it's a crop grown worldwide and is considered to be the healthiest oil in the market for health purposes. So why are we here talking about biostimulants? I need to remind this august audience that the world population is increasing all the time. And the world population is going to be 9 billion close to 2045. So that's not too far from now. And how are we going to be feeding that amount of population? Keeping in mind that land resources are not going to change. We are not going to get extra land. Farmers are on the decline. At least in North America, we see a great decline of farmers. And a need for the food is ever increasing. So along with that, with the environmental concerns, we need to reduce pests for crop productivity. So how do we manage that balance? That's the main theme. And I want to emphasize that a need for agricultural sustainability comes into play. The avoidance of depleting natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance is so important. And again, my theme, as I mentioned, is based, all my slides will be based on how these interact or links with the biostimulant theme, what we are discussing today. As a plant pathologist trained at Oregon State University in the United States, where I did my PhD. I'm a plant pathologist by training, as I mentioned. So I have to put this slide and make you understand that the diseases are also at times being controlled by PGPR strains. And one of the strains that I have in my lab has been having a dual purpose on the aspects of reducing abiotic diseases and also increasing growth. Now, also keeping in mind that with climate change, there will be the need for us to be more proactive in looking at some of these biostimulants in the management of plant diseases, and also with the changes of crops coming into different areas. I can give you a very good example. When I moved to Canada from the United States, as Professor Reddy mentioned, to start a position at the University of Manitoba, soybean was not a crop in Manitoba. Corn was a very small crop in Manitoba. Today, there are two of the most important crops in Manitoba. So how did that change happen? With longer daylight period, higher temperatures, warmer climate, moving in the last 20 years. That's not a long time. We have seen a great need for diversification. So canola, wheat, barley, which were the number 1, 2, and 3, are now competing with corn and soybean. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because with that, there will be other opportunities for biostimulants, with biological control, where plant diseases might happen with the new crops. Now, this slide I took from BIPA. I have gone through BIPA's wonderful website, and this is a great slide that you have, or great information that you have, how USA defines plant stimulants to be containing substances or microorganisms whose function, when applied to plants or the rhizosphere, is to stimulate natural processes to enhance benefit nutrient uptake, nutrient efficiency, tolerance to abiotic stress, and crop quality. I would also add the biotic stress here, because in the research we have done, we have seen very clearly that the same microorganism can do both while increasing the plant with a biostimulant. It is also decreasing the pathogens around it. So my research has been more closer to, so as I said, I will first talk about a little bit about my research and what we are doing here at the University of Manitoba, but then move on to what is it like in the big picture in the United States and Canada, and then finally talk about some of the opportunities that we have in the future. So the microbial community dynamics of any crop has to be looked at along with the biostimulants. Now, I know that a lot of focus in the industry is on the biostimulant itself, but I think as a scientist, I always think that we have to look at the bigger picture, how that biostimulant itself, a single organism might, or a single organism might have an impact on the whole rhizosphere. So this is some of the research that we have done, and I'm showing on a corn soybean rotation how soybeans are performing when inoculated with a biostimulant PA23, a Pseudomonas chlororhabis strain. This strain has been proven to be effective as a biocontrol agent on many diseases as well. So you can see the growth is much better when it is inoculated. The soybeans are much better. Now in a canola soybean rotation, it's a little different. So after canola, if the soybean is grown, you can see that the lush amount of leaves on the plant has increased. If I go back to the previous slide, on the control, you don't see much of a difference. But as soon as you look at the PA23 biostimulant inoculant, you see a major difference. So there is that feature of the canola plant making headway for that PA23, whatever the substance, maybe it is certain chemicals, residues that might be promoting PA23, and it helps in the growth of the soybean plant. And so is the wheat soybean rotation. So I just wanted to show you that it is so important, if you are doing rotations, to look at these aspects in research. As PhD students, young professors, you might be able to do this in your own capacity and understand. Now you look at soybean rotation, and so going on soybean, after soybean rotation, the PA23 doesn't seem to be doing that well. So these are important cues, important features that we need to understand and ask the question, what is really going on in this dirt? So soil is so important anywhere that we grow any crop, and we need to understand that. So there's lots of things happening, and I'm not going to go through this slide, but I think this goes back to BIPA's slide that was talking about how all these things matter in biostimulant activity. And the microbial rhizosphere community has to be looked at carefully. So tagging along with another collaborator, Professor Mark Belmonte and his student, we have looked at, does PGPR or biostimulants deleteriously influence the microbiome while being a successful PGPR strain? So this is an important way to ask the question, are we altering the system to be deleterious, or are we maintaining the system and promoting the plant to grow? So does PA23 persist in soil after initial treatment, and does PA23 alter microbial soil populations? So how do we get to that? So we do that through more of the molecular approaches, looking at the whole microbiome. So we do the microbiome library synthesis sequencing. So I'm not going to spend time here, but just wanted to show you some of the methods that can be used today. And these are wonderful methods that postdocs and graduate students can delve into and learn new techniques, but at the same time promoting biostimulants in the bigger picture of how it is affecting the whole microbiome or not. So here you can see the different microbial genera that can be looked at through the sequencing approach that we have taken. And finally ask the question, what biological processes really contribute to the growth of the plant? So here you can see some of those that are in dark color on the root and dark color on the shoot. You can see that photosynthesis has been really improved. And this is after the canola was grown. This is soybeans, but after canola. So you can see how the photosynthesis is changed because of the biostimulant. And then we will be able to understand the whole microbial populations that are in different parts of the soil, in the bulk soil, in the rhizosphere soil, at different growth stages of the crop. All that can be understood by doing these kind of experiments. Now shifting gear, as Professor Reddy mentioned, I'm now moving on to what is the market size of the biostimulants and PGPR strains in North America. So the good news is that the global agricultural microbials market is expected to grow from 5 million to 11 million by 2025. Just in another 4 years' time, it is going to be doubled. So at a compound annual growth rate of 14.34. So there is a lot of future for the microbial market. So I'm mentioning that even though it is North America, I'm guessing that this is true for countries like India, but also for entrepreneurs from India to really think about approaching the global market, especially the North American market, because it is shifting in a big way to agricultural microbials. Think about the crops that you might be targeting, because in Canada and the United States, all these crops are grown: cereals, fruits, vegetables, oil seeds, and pulses. And the base, the formulations are also important. And they can be, again, these are for companies who might be developing. It can be a dry or liquid formulation. And I'm not going to read all this. You can see what are those that are available. And these are based on crop protection, as I mentioned, and then soil amendments and biostimulants. So all these are related to the agricultural microbial market that we study in North America: biofungicides, bioherbicides, bioinsecticides, and bionematicides. Now that I think most of us work on bacteria as microbials, but there is a growing tendency to look at others and look at how those can influence crop growth. Now, the agricultural microbial market should be studied across foliar sprays, post-harvest, seed treatments, soil treatments. I think this is a very important part that we should be looking at to diversify the efforts and ways that microbials are produced for different applications. And very often we might like to stick to one area, but I think, again, this is the time to look at diversification even in the application process. Now, I think Professor Ramasamy mentioned all this, how this is affecting Africa and Asia Pacific, and I'm just talking a little bit about the Americas and Europe. Now, one of the things that I really wanted to mention that is a little maybe different from India is that in Canada and the United States, it's not the small companies that are now developing and leading vendors of global agricultural microbials. These are billion-dollar companies, BASF, Bayer, Dow, DuPont. I'm just naming a few here, picking. They are billion-dollar companies worldwide in their markets. So when you look at those kind of companies, including Syngenta, Monsanto, Bio Agri Inputs, you quickly see that if you are an entrepreneur, you have to compete with some of these big players. And for that, you have to have an excellent product to be regulated well and to take it to the market. Finally, as I said, I will end my presentation in looking at the opportunities that we have. One, I saw a question from Dr. Dilfusa to Professor Reddy was, what is the biostimulants going to be with COVID? So here's an opportunity with the global catastrophe that we are all facing, and my sincere sympathies are with the Indian people today, with the amounts of deaths and the people who have got sick with COVID. But also, you have to always look at the silver lining and what brings opportunities. So there's a cumulative impact of COVID-19 that we are understanding, even in the transportation industry. I love to drink Horlicks, and the Horlicks comes from India. I go to an Indian store in Winnipeg and I buy my Horlicks. For 3 months, Horlicks was not available because of transportation problems that arose because of COVID. So considering the changes in consumer behavior and demand, purchasing patterns, rerouting the supply chain, dynamics of current market forces, and the significant interventions of governments, as scientists, we need to study, analyze, estimate, forecast, and consider the COVID-19 impact on the market. And there might be opportunities. There's lots of funding put into COVID-related research. It doesn't have to be on the pathogen, on the virus. It can be on the social aspects. It can be on the agricultural aspect. It can be on the transportation aspect. So we need to be cognizant about that. Important considerations: if we keep isolating, characterizing, and writing publications while training graduate students, the future of PGPRs as biostimulants and bioagri products is going to be a little bit weak and bleak. As a scientist, I'm saying that to scientists and to young people, we need to look at a bit bigger on the bigger picture and work tirelessly to enhance known PGPR products with cutting edge technology and make it to a product. So talking about cutting edge technology, again, BIPA had a wonderful picture that I have stolen here to put to my presentation. It shows the amalgamation of the molecular sciences with the plant and the soil. And this is really, really important at this stage. And some of the work that my lab does is on gene editing to understand certain genes, how we can promote better for that gene to act better. So can we ask the question, can gene editing be used to increase the effects of PGPRs and get better shelf life, activity, and survivability? These are all cutting edge and for the future, because science has to move, new students and postdocs have to get into new research, and these are wonderful opportunities that we have today. CRISPR, the clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. CRISPR technology is something that we use in my lab, and I hope unfortunately, I don't have the time to show the video, but I just wanted to mention that that's an opportunity for young scientists and researchers to get into understanding PGPR better. So finally, where are we going with this? Market access is so important. Market access for the Indian scientists and Indian entrepreneurs has to be there. So if I'm giving this talk 10 years from today, if I see Indian scientists and entrepreneurs have infiltrated the United States and Canadian market, I'll be a happy man, because I hope that message has got through. So this is Professor Baldur Stephenson. This is the father of canola. His bust is at the university's main area. This is me and with my two little sons, showing respect to a great person, a scientist. Thank you very much. This is my lab in 2019. They come from all over the world and do excellent research. So I am, as a scientist, privileged to have these students and postdocs in my lab to do the research, as Professor Reddy said, and publish. Thank you all for attending this, and I hope it was useful to you.
Thank you, Delanta. It's a wonderful, wonderful review from your expertise and your research and your global outlook and future look for the audience, what to look for. Wonderful. Thank you very much for participating. And now I think you have a lecture coming up, so we need to let you go.
Yeah.
And as Delanta is, as I mentioned, here I would like to mention, he has postdocs and students from India in his lab. One of our youngest professor from, I think, Hyderabad, Dr. Hamida.
Yeah.
Spend our time in his lab. Now he's a good scientist in Hyderabad, in the University of in Hyderabad. So thank you very much. You're always so kind. Whenever I call you, send a message, accepting and participating, just like Srinu. I'd love to have you two both in our group, and our new executive body coming up pretty soon. The two of you guys joining with your hands to help us for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaste, and wish all thank you.
Thank you. The next one in the panel, Dr. V, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, is going to give his briefings with his expertise, and he travels. Before COVID, not now. I think he's spending his time in his roof garden. So would like to hear from based on your expertise from lab to the field to international level. Give us not only on BIPA, just give your overall your thoughts. Now, how we go about starting a new venture or expanding or increase those ventures. Give us young people watching you today. Sir, time is yours.
Thank you, Professor, for giving this opportunity. And Raj, do you have my slides shown?
Yeah, I'll show. Yeah, just before that, Doctor, I'm so excited. Dr. Malhotra, Commissioner of Agriculture, is watching us so keenly. I think it's a huge input from all of us. Thank you, Dr. Saab, for watching so keenly, and a huge audience across the globe. Just in case, friends, some of your friends who are not able to register, you can either register now or simply go to the YouTube channel, YouTube/Ray Consulting. You can watch live. Right now, a large number of people are watching live, almost 55. That's an amazing number thing, and many audience. So on behalf of Dr. Devnur, I'll just start the screen share of his presentation.
Thank you, Professor M.S. Reddy Garu, moderator, and this wonderful opportunity of having august audience and such wide coverage of 22 countries, so many people watching. What I have been asked by our professor is basically, what is basically the role of PGPRs, PGPM we call it in general, plant growth promoting microbes as biostimulants in agriculture. I represent a company called AgriLife. I've been secretary of BIPA and vice president of World NEEM organization. Again, a very good sustainability with your objective of that. Raj. Let's start with definition. There is no official definition of biostimulant as yet. European Union, takes years to come to one particular definition. But BPIA, Biological Products Industry Alliance of USA, has defined the biostimulants in a nice way. Plant biostimulants contain substances or microorganisms whose function, when applied to plants or the rhizosphere, is to stimulate natural process to enhance, benefit nutrient uptake, nutrient efficiency, tolerance to abiotic stresses, and improve crop quality. That means anything other than pest control, disease control, plant food, nutrient. Rest all of them come under this biostimulants category. They can be natural substances, they can be mineral substances, they can be microorganisms. That is how a broad definition of biostimulants is being worked out. Next. Let's look at where are we and in the global perspective. Global agri inputs market, I'm not talking bio now, where are we in the broad picture? Global crop protection, which we normally call pesticides market, is about $60 billion US. Global crop nutrition market, that is where the NPK, micronutrients, the fertilizer comes, this is about $200 billion global market. Out of this above, global biopesticide market is about $4 billion out of $60 billion total pesticide market. Biofertilizer market is about 1.5 billion, but is not unauthenticated. You'll be surprised to know Rhizobium got the patent from US Patent Office about 102 years ago. They got patent, and nitrogen was the first product which got introduced as a biofertilizer in USA. And even now, the Rhizobium market commands over $1 billion market in the legumes in South America and North America. Biostimulants market is about $4 billion, but then undocumented in reality because there is no regulatory anywhere in the world today. And it is basically pushed by the companies and now slowly pulled by the farmers. This is expected to grow to about $7 billion market in about 5 years from now. So we are seeing a very, very big growth in the market size. Out of this biostimulants market, PGPR and PGPM means plant growth promoting microbes, could be just about $500 million as of now, and can go to over $2 billion by 2024. But then the definition of biofertilizer, biostimulants are getting interchanged now. European Union does not define biofertilizer at all. The biofertilizers are mingled along with biostimulants, and European Union is talking only biostimulants market. So when we use this together, probably we are going to look at a figure of $7 billion market in about 4 or 5 years from now, which is a very, very big growth opportunity for all of us. Next. Now, let's say how and where are we the Indian scenario. Indian plant biostimulant industry, till now, these biostimulants have not been regulated by Government of India, that is central government or what you call federal government. Few states in India, like Punjab, have restrictions to market biostimulants unless they're tried in the local agricultural university for a bioefficacy trials, and unless the university okays it, the agriculture department doesn't permit marketing of biostimulants in Punjab. There are some restrictions in Haryana, Rajasthan, and some states, but by and large, it's a free for all market. Over 500 micro, small, mini, medium, big companies are in Indian market. Interestingly, I always tease ourselves, 3 black liquids. One is called humic acid. Very interesting. Whole world calls it humic acid. Formulations sold are 9 to 11 pH product. Someone called it humic acid. Whole world calls it humic acid. Second, zymes in India, basically seaweed extracts, which is a basically biological derivative of seaweed, largely imported from cold countries, certain small raw material from Indian Western and Southern Sea also available. Third is amino acids, generally called amino acid, or protein hydrolysates. These 3 black liquids constitute about 95% of domestic biostimulant market. Liquids are sprayed for crops. Some are, of course, fed by drip irrigation. And you have largely bentonite clay-based granule are sold extensively across the country. You might wonder, what is a manufacturing facility? Many have one open drum and one stick, and it is also called manufacturing facility. Here I would like to thank our Dr. Malhotra Sahab, Agriculture Commissioner, and the team to bring in a sort of a semblance in this market and bring in some regulatory so that Indian farmers can get quality product. So this is the present status of our plant biostimulants industry. Next. Now, as we heard from the horse's mouth, Professor Dr. Malhotra Sahab explained, there is going to be a new regulatory coming for plant biostimulants under the Fertilizer Control Order. This FCO is under Essential Commodities Act. Now, I would like to go back to last sentence here, last but one here. This Essential Commodity Act was brought into India to control hoarding, black marketing, and price rigging by the traders, by the companies for kerosene, urea, this kind of products. For example, urea and the fertilizer subsidy is maybe 75,000 crores, about 10 to 11 billion US dollars. So it was brought under the Essential Commodities Act so that the police and civil servants can enter a godown, enter a warehouse, enter a factory, enter a shop, and see our holding done. Now, with all the good things coming in, we are now getting into Fertilizer Control Order, not fertilizer, not biostimulants promotion order, and it's coming under the Essential Commodities Act. And we are now looking at, imagine, free-for-all situation to Damocles sword hanging basically on the industry. There's a lot of threat perception. I'm happy to represent, voice our opinion. We welcome example, the dossier and technical information, toxicology, bioefficacy, state agricultural universities bio report, all are required. We welcome it, but then how do we really justify being an essential commodity where we are not hoarding, we are not rigging the price, we are begging customers, please buy. We are trying to promote the concept, but already from free for all, we are into a sword hanging situation. This is a bit of irony we are getting into. Next. Next slide. Now, what Indian industry is, a professor asked, should try to go global. We have a great biodiversity in the country. We have a National Biodiversity Act in place. We are one of the few countries where very well-developed regulatory on biodiversity is there. We have a National Biodiversity Authority in Chennai. We have state biodiversity boards in most states working well. So if we have to look at as Indian industry, not only going domestic market, you can global market. Today is a global scenario. If I can sell this pencil in India, I can sell the whole world. For example, I can't sell this lighter, 10 rupees. I can't make as an industry in India. If I make a 10 rupees to consumer, I can sell to Chinese also. But then China occupies 100% market share of this kind of small item. And 100 rupees worth of $2 dozen of the reading glasses. Now, where are we as Indian industry? We have abundant natural resources. Therefore, my suggestion is a part of global marketing, which we are deeply involved. Like we have a joint venture company from our side with Copert Biological Systems in India. We collaborate for R&D program with Copert, produce for Copert organization for India and many countries. So we have been a long journey of 10 years in how to go global, has been a small pilot thing. So I can share with you what we should do as an industry. Choose few products. Don't look at zillion products. Do a good R&D. Let's develop a stable formulation. Let us get some proper toxicological studies from good GLP certified laboratories. Then get taxonomy data. This is a very, very nightmare subject. Today, every customer wants the sequencing studies and the nomenclature. When I send a sample of X, donkey I send, customer says, I got monkey. I send monkey, customers, you send donkey. Now, same thing, today it is Trichoderma viridae, tomorrow other customer says, no, Trichoderma asianum. I have instances of state laboratories in Europe, I'm talking, not elsewhere, Africa or India. A bacillus strain sent by us, can you imagine a federal laboratory says gram-negative bacteria? Now forget nomenclature here. The elephant, I said, it becomes mosquito. Mosquito becomes a plant. This is a very tricky situation. Taxonomy data, nomenclature is becoming difficult. Therefore, as Indian industry, we must try our level best to get an unimpeachable integrity taxonomy for the strains. Deposit them in Budapest Treaty recognized depository. Because international patent certificate is given by these depositories. Get the accession number. Name the baby you have on the hand. And baby, the name should be internationally acceptable. Then for non-microbial products, there are many biostimulants, the non-microbial, develop a proper chemistry data on the profile of product by a good GLP laboratory. Whole world should accept it, along with tox and bioefficacy. Tox data, as Dr. Malhotra said, will be defined by federal. Our regulator, we have to follow that. Similarly, bioefficacy. Then, as a responsibility, we have to develop formulation which has good storage stability. Complaint of farmers are innumerous. Sir, I bought it today, it is having precipitation. I bought your product, yesterday was green color, today black color. Yesterday was smell was good, tomorrow smell is not there. Inconsistency will not reach us anywhere. Coca-Cola is sold any A to Z country, same black liquid, same pH, same consistency, same bottle. Then you can go global. If we do not standardize every minute part of our business process, we cannot forget global, we can't go domestic also. And develop real-time storage data is a very important thing. And also accelerated storage stability so that we know our product, how it behaves at 45 degrees Celsius, at 10 degrees Celsius. Certain countries where there's a Canada in winter goes to minus level. How does the formulation behave? And once we do this, what kind of container we are going to use? Is the container compatible with the product? So all such data, if we have it, and then if the idea as a businessman is, I think if novelty is there, I must patent it. I must get the intellectual property. Anywhere in the world we go, the first question a customer asks, do you have any IP? You know, India, we used to have IP means insolvency petition, or olden days. He was declared bankrupt. From that IP mentality, we have to come to new IP mentality, intellectual property ownership. With that, we should have communicate ability to talk to customers. Look, we are having a full dossier and acceptable product with all the data validation. Then we can look at the global markets. With that approach, we will be able to look at not only Indian market, but global markets. This is my sharing of small experience of being in marketing globally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. V. Wonderful, sir. I never heard a speech from you, but we talk, but not, your speech is an excellent one for the scientists and bureaucrats and entrepreneurs to take into their mind, into their brain, to look into all aspects you just talked about. I love it. Donkey can become an elephant, elephant becomes a donkey, is vice versa. He's always there. Pink become red, red become green, green become this. Rupee become a dollar, dollar become a rupee. They're all changes. So that's why these days my buzz thing is we need to work on a human microbiome. Every person has his own microbiome. So we need to put together the interactive microbiomes into one place to resolve all the issues we have for this industry. Thank you very much. Again, on behalf of our society and BIPA, like a great grandfather telling his sons and his family, his grandkids and all kind of stuff, you have proven you gave those kind of stimulatory ideas and the tasks to tackle them and move forward in this industry. Thank you very much. With that, I'm going to invite another speaker. Now our good old friend, Dr. K.R. Reddy. For him, here are the questions. You need to focus very carefully and give us your opinion and your input. What are the latest omics platforms? How will the technology emerge in solving agri challenges through plant biostimulants? What are the various product forms that can be made available to farmers for better efficacy? You have started. I met Dr. K.R. Reddy 28 years ago in a local conference organized at Central University of Hyderabad, along with my colleague, Dr. Klopper, under the local coordinator, Dr. Professor Appara. There I met him, was holding a small bag with him and attended our workshop in Hyderabad. Then that time he just finished his postdoctoral fellowship from the European country, but he graduated, of course, from India. He was very fascinated looking and taking notes and all kind of stuff. Then I just met him very casually. Sir, the PGPR is great. That's all he told me. And after that, 7 years after that, the man started a company called Sri Bio. That Sri Bio in front of my own eyes grew from a small test tube to multi kinds of test tubes and products. And now the man sold that company to Velagro. Velagro became a Syngenta now. And again, now he has started his own company, Sri Bio Aesthetics. Sri Bio. I think he has a good, Sri is giving me Lakshmi. So the Sri Bio Aesthetics today, as a BIPA president and is a pioneer in establishing Asian PGPR society from the start to now. I'd like to invite him to talk about those questions I posed on to him. Is not only an accommodation, is an is an entrepreneurial guy. He knows how to make a dust into a product, and that product became a value. He's a man, he knows everything. I mean, we as a scientist, I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to produce the product. We always talk. So I keep him, he's a man, give him a test tube, you make it a packet overnight. Thus he is all about Sri Bioaesthetic Mahima or power. Let's listen to him. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your good words. So this is a kind of a very technical question, sir. I have only one slide here, and it gives a whole story about these latest omics platforms and how the technology emerges in solving agri challenges through plant biostimulants. So in this, I have two actually pictures, two schematic representations here. So one is AIMs. AIMs means agriculturally important microbes. So where the microbes 360 degrees, definitely it helps the plant to survive under stress situations, helps the plants to grow, and helps the plants to yield more. So if you take the plant microbial interactions are very critical, and the omics platforms. So omics, we have actually almost all kinds of technologies are now available to understand plant microbial interactions. We are talking about the PGPRs or PGPMs, how these PGPRs and PGPMs helps the plant, as I mentioned, the stress, as I mentioned, growth, as I mentioned, development and productivity. So all these are all influenced by microbes. How they influence, what is the mode of action or the mechanism of action, how to understand that. See, that is what exactly people say the proof of concept. Tomorrow, even if you want to register these microbes under biostimulants, you need to develop the data package. That's all bioefficacy, toxicology, shelf life. So the claim is most important here. What is the claim? As I mentioned, there are several claims. So here I mentioned there were several functions of these microbes: carbon sequestration, nitrogen fixation, phytohormone productions, and nutrient and solubilizations, and the nutrient mobilizations, and phytoremediations, and abiotic stress tolerance. Apart from this, another two components I'm not talking about here because we are now focusing on PGPRs. Those are insect pest control and also disease suppression. So Dr. Malhotra informed all the audience that the Biostimulants Act is coming up, where each product is an individual registration. So what the Biostimulant Committee is now going to focus, each individual formulation or in each individual product itself is a simple and separate registration. So therefore, all based on your claim, you need to develop your data. That is bioefficacy, of course, organism toxicology, general minimum toxicology package, shelf life, this is normal. But your claim bioefficacy, how it acts on the plant, how it induces kind of a systemic resistance, how it helps in higher productivity. So therefore, each individual characteristic feature or each individual function is critical to assess, understand, and develop the proof of concept. So this is the starting point. Then coming to how you assess this. Yes. So we have now the omics, the models are available, and the toolbox is available, the software is available. So these are categorized under the phenomics. That is the vital part of it. The phenomics is understanding the morphological and biochemical and physiological features of an individual microbe, followed by the metabolomics. All the biochemical changes and functional activities, each suppose it produces a kind of a phytohormone. How this phytohormone helps the plant? It induces root system, or maybe the phytohormones helps in the flowering or a kind of a fruit development. So likewise, all the biochemical pathways you can study, and also you can also study the plant microbe interactions to make your what you call organism so attractive to the consumers based on your efficacy studies. So followed by, just my friend Venkatesh mentioned about the characterization. Taxonomy, it's much negative one. So the genomics now helps us, maybe genomics, especially if not at the whole genome, if at least an RNA sequencing, it helps in understanding what kind of a gene about dog can become monkey, monkey can become dog, something like the same thing here. You need to have the pakka blueprint of this microorganism and the tagging of the genes you are actually focusing with reference to a particular function. So this genomics helps in understanding the functional traits and also the taxonomical nature and the role of the particular strain, followed by proteomics. And also you have the transcriptomics. Once again, we talk about the central dogma of biology. that is a transcription and translation. Finally, end product is a protein, is nothing but an enzyme. So how these microbes understand the functional metabolism of a plant and how the plant expresses in terms of a sugar, it terms of a metabolite, in terms of a protein, which can help in regulating the plant metabolism in terms of disease resistance or maybe the growth or metabolism. Apart from that, the elemental analysis and also the biochemical regulation of the nutrient pathways. So out of all these things, the most important thing is culturable microbes. They are called culture mix, the culture media, incubation times, and the substrates. So this is a very critical phase. We know that out of millions of microbes, we can only culture 1 or 2%. So even if you have thousands and millions of microbes around the rhizosphere, but we can only culture, trap, grow, store only 1 to 2% of the microbes. These microbes are essential and also very difficult to culture each and every microbe. But those culturable microbes only can be converted into a product. So this forms the whole microbial platform where you can convert one microbe into a product. As Dr. MS Reddy said, a test tube to a product. Yes, unless until you are equipped with the knowledge, infrastructure, and experience, is very difficult to develop a product because it has roadmap and timelines. How many stages from proof of concept to developing a product? It may be 5 years or 10 years, or sometimes even after you digging, you may not get a right microbe. So therefore, getting a right microbe right from culture collections or soil collections, from there to isolations, characterizations, and also developing the protocols and developing a product. And the product should have all the characteristics, features, the qualifications to become a product. That means you need to have the bioefficacy, toxicology, shelf life, etc. So this forms the basic technology platform where you have all the tools are readily available, but the networking is critical. One lab or one person can't do all these things. Therefore, the facilities are available across the globe in India. So therefore, the networking is critical to pull all the data from all the omics as well as the culture omics. Then definitely you will be in a position to develop a product. So that's all about how these functional tools can help to convert a microbe into a product or a delivery system, which can be used in agriculture, either for the seed treatment, soil application, or foliar sprays. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, KRK. Thank you, Gura. Actually, it's more than 2 hours since we started. We have 2 more speakers. And the next speak, without any time lapse, I would like to call upon Dr. John Peter. Even though we assigned you 7 minutes, if we can wrap it up faster than that, that will be greatly appreciated. Dr. Peter and I know very well personally. He met me in my own house in Gachibowli, Hyderabad, long time ago. And we have interactions and communication. Finally, I dragged him into our society and society conferences. The man has become a generous and a philanthropic in nature, came to Guntur, gave us money. And, and just the other week, I just posted, without even asking, Dr. MS Reddy, I appreciate your efforts. Here is my generous donation for the Asian PGPR Society to involve in your yatra, in your path, to take this society into a bigger level. I greatly appreciate it. He gave us 2,000 United States dollars to the society for the future conferences, maybe in Bali, it may be in Tashkent, maybe in Malaysia, whatever. We will use appropriately. Endorsing his sponsorship for our future conference, just like for Dr. V, and he came forward. I greatly appreciated Dr. Peter. And you from Andhra Pradesh, I am from United Andhra. And you now in Telangana, I am from Andhra, but we're all united. As KRK just mentioned, we need to all get together, cooperate, friendly way, as I mentioned. Every human has their own biome. So we all together, a united microbiome. Once we united with our biomes, I think future is great. As we mentioned, billions of dollars industries waiting for our inputs with our efficacious products. So with that, Dr. Peter, a question to you, sir. He's a man, he has his own industry. You all know him. You read about him under BIPA, read about him under his company. So Dr. Peter, here are our question to you. How does co-research innovation help to develop new products of PGPR or PGPMs? What are the current challenges in regularizing a product, and what are the solutions for the same or for these products? Would love to hear your wisdom and your advice to the audience who are listening this morning, more than 2 hours since we started. Here you go, Dr. Peter.
Unmute, Dr. Peter. Unmute. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor, BIPA, all the panelists, Dr. Malhotra sir, and all the participants across the globe. It's a question posed by Professor is very tricky and little difficult to answer. I don't have any presentation on my part. We have been talking about the gut microbiome, its role and its association with the behavior, BP, then sugar, all those things we were talking about of late, because this decoding has happened very recently. Whereas the plant beneficial microbes, the decoding has happened several decades before. But what I feel is the health of gut microbiome in future is very closely related to the plant beneficial microbes. Unless and until the plant is becoming happy of getting all the nutrients, all the benefits from the beneficial plant microbiome, and when it is happy with additional nutrition and other things, then the gut microbiome is going to be very happy, and our health also going to improve. So in this way, there are challenges in bringing out these plant beneficial microbes into the formulation, and we have been doing for since long. And now, since it is coming under regulation, before going into the regulation part, I just wanted to convey few points like this. We have been concentrating on the soil microbiomes, and it is called as soil conditioner or soil beneficial microbes, including the biofertilizers. And the foliar microbiomes are very limited, and in future, the foliar microbiome also going to play a major role. And we also have opportunity for plant endophytes. And we have been talking about the bacteria extensively. We also have the opportunity to go for endophytes, fungal endophytes, including the mycorrhiza. And in addition to the plant beneficial microbes, we have the same microbes are going to be useful for the environmental management, including the hot topic in India about the crop burning, and as well as the aquaculture pond management system. All these things, the same microbes are going to play a major role. And when we are developing microbial formulations, in general, we have problem, and we always put the label claim as do not mix with the toxic chemical pesticides, or do not mix with the agrochemicals. So this is the one of the biggest bottleneck in popularizing the plant microbial formulation, especially the PGP. And what I suggest is, in future, there will be the mechanism to encapsulate. Now also it is available, but when it is encapsulated with the proper polymer, and we can recommend these formulations along with the pesticides as a foliar spray, because farmers are having limited options, limited energy for spray. If we are asking one spray of PGPR, another spray of biopesticide, and the third spray of chemical conventional pesticides, it would be tiresome for them, and the acceptance level is very difficult. So when we are tank mixing these formulations, they should not get released immediately. When it is delivered to the end use, target organism, then it should be getting activated. And this activation should not, this chemical pesticide should not hamper the activation of these microbial biostimulants. This is the one, this is applicable for the pesticides, this is applicable for all the nutrients, including the urea, N, P, K, and also the micronutrients. This is one area we have to concentrate, and this will give good mileage. And the second part, what I wanted to, I will take another 3 minutes, the seed priming. Now, the government is also bringing out several changes, and the regulatory part on removing toxic pesticide like Thiram, which is one of the most important seed primers. But biostimulants as well as the microbial biostimulants are going to play a major role if properly utilized as along with the seed industries. It is a big industry, and the technology is available, and it needs upgradation to develop this as a seed primer. And the fourth part, what I see is the pH of the soil. It is becoming very dynamic because of whatever we have made mistakes by overusing the fertilizers. The changes are happening, and some of them are becoming acidic, few of them are becoming alkaline, and PGPR, they are not only going to become the PGP, but they are also going to condition the soil and alter the pH. So this is one area where the government is also might be much interested in introducing the right PGPR for the regulation of the pH of the soil. And finally, I have two more. One is the cross-specific consortia. That is also important based upon the microbiome that are available along the rhizosphere. And the second part is PGPM as a host plant promoter that will have all the benefit to promote the host plant, but it should also suppress the unwanted weeds, because weed is the major problem, and especially the organic agriculture people cannot spray weedicides. So there should be research to suppress other unwanted weeds, but still promote the host plants. So this is one kind of dream may come true in another 5 or 10 years, but this is not very too far. And we have been talking about the biochar. Biochar as a organic carbon, and the delivery system of this PGPR also can be along with the biochar, so that the soil will get both the organic carbon as well as the biostimulant at a stretch. And finally, we also need multifunctional single microbes and single functional or multifunctional consortia for the effective management of the plant plant ecosystem. So this is with this, I am completing with the opportunities for the product development. Now, coming back to the regulation, Dr. Malhotra sir is also here, and he has also opened up what are all the indicated. So when the court is, the case is in the court, we should not give any kind of suggestion or declaration. Let the result come out. But there are some concern, and Dr. DV also has announced about the requirement of the regulatory part. When we are going for international forum, we need authentic regulatory data to authenticate the biosafety of our product as well as the efficacy of the product, which is a must. And we'll wait for the declaration of the draft proposal. Then subsequently, we can also talk about it. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Peters. It's very nice indeed. Thank you very much. Those are very valid. Everybody, I hope they will take into to consider for future. Anybody want to develop the products? I think the last speaker we have in the panel, Dr. Sudha Reddy. She is a part of BIPA, but she has her own company. I met her a long time ago in Hyderabad again. She started with a tissue culture kind of style company. Now she, from that tissue culture too, I have not recently met her recently, but I know there's a lot of improvements, and also from not only from Hyderabad, with her family help, she's moving into United States and other countries to venture out. With that, I also met her personally at my home house in Hyderabad, along with her and husband and family. So we know her very well. With that, Amma Sudha Garu.
Thank you, sir.
Your role in this webinar, the question to you, very simple. How the ways to taking PGPR to field and the consumer? How can a farmer be convinced or trust you or believe you are all BIPA technocrats that PGPs are good for the crops and the people using? Can you brief us on those lines? Because since you are selling the products to the end user, please convince us.
Yes, sir. Hello, everybody. I started this company of 2 decades back. Initially, it was very tough to market this because people were very hesitant to take this. And when I studied about this microbes and all those, I felt these are the need of the hour for the people. But people used to laugh initially. No one will buy. Who will buy? You cannot change. Farmers will be cheated. So many things were coming up. But then I started counseling the farmers, regular interaction with the farmers, hand-holding with them on this effects on the chemical pesticides, slowly bringing them into this organic. And then I started asking the government support, showing them practice of packages, increasing their yields. And then now farmers started coming continuously to me, and voluntary they're coming now. And it's actually the seed size was increased, early flowering, disease and pesticide control. And I was really happy about this microbes playing their role in the soil and the plant. Recently, I have supplied to the US for especially the SBOs for the humans. Like not only for the plants, the same cultures are given for the humans, which we are giving as SBOs, and we are selling huge in the US market. So earlier they used to drink in water, drinking well water and river water, which these microbes were there. Now today they say these microbes are not there, ma'am. What are you giving to the plants? The similar they wanted for the human, which along with this human probiotics, and this probiotics is helping them for controlling cancer, Parkinson, which I told last time also. So this microbes not only for the soil, not only for the plants, and it is amazing products, and it's really God creation is really great. And this is a need for the farmers because of my passion towards farmers mostly. I can say it's a social entrepreneur. I have lots of farmers in my portfolio, and the percentage is growing continuously. And now the farmers voluntarily, they're continuously coming to me, and I try to counsel them, try to explain them what role they're playing in the soil. And they come back to me again with a smiling face, ma'am. They have repaid their loans. So I feel so happy by seeing the farmers. And my concept is about low budget farming to the farmers, like to use completely like soil microbes, biofertilizers, biopesticides. I also manufacture predators, macrobials. So this helps the farmers how to increase their yield and the investment, because basically the farmer is the poorest person on this earth when compared to others. So this message has passed even to China, and I also export to China, and Chinese also wanted to start the similar what I'm giving to the farmers. So not only the microbials, I do macrobials, predators, pheromones, and pest control seeds, the complete package. It's really helping them. In so many of 2 decades, I've seen lakhs of farmers just with a smiling face saying, ma'am, we have investment has come down drastically. And the yield was increased, the quality was increased, the price was more. Seeing that neighbor farmers, they keep literally coming searching for me, where are you? So I felt, I think I've done some good thing on this earth by giving them the better products. And this microbes, I think it's not only me, I think all over the globe, we'd have to come forward. Yeah, anything else you want to ask? Slowly we have to bring them. If anybody wants any support, just not giving the product, we also should help them in practice of packages. That is what I used to do them. Just giving the microbes, it doesn't help them. They doesn't know how to use, when to use, and what is the useful of these products. So slowly we started explaining them and giving them the better results and asking them to invest less money and get more yields. That was my basic concept. So this has helped me globally, and the message has passed even globally. So I have lots of farmers coming to me, not only from India, from other countries also. And I also love to do a lot of R&D works and come up with the new products, launch them, and give them a complete package from soil testing to the post-harvest.
Excellent. Dr. Sudha Reddy Garu, thank you, ma. Excellent. And we'll come back to you with some questions.
Please.
We have some other panelists selected by Raj. I think time is going, it's past.
Yeah. We are just on time.
The news to the audience, still our counting is going on in the United States. Is going on. 6 more states to be counted, to be declared. As of now, I'm watching 3 television in front of me in my office. 238 Biden and Trump were 213. So they need 270 to become a president of the United States. There's 6 more states to be counted. Just news for you all. Go ahead, bring back those panelists you have in your list.
Yes.
See what kind of, they may have a question, they may have suggestions. They can call upon each individual. From now on, you take over those panelists. I need to get some fresh coffee. I'll be right back.
And I'm sure you still didn't have your breakfast too. Yeah, amazing, awesome talks, discussions, thoughts, inspirations, information, knowledge, whatnot. Friends, my dear audience and attendees, we will take few questions from you, though there are a lot of questions in chats and Q&A, but we will try and answer those offline. So whoever would like to talk to any of the speakers, participants, please raise your hand. Before that, we have, as I said, we have structured this program in such a way, besides panelists speaking, our chief guest giving keynote address, we wanted to kind of pick up globally some people and make them ask few questions. So I have with me, to begin with, Dr. Ting Ho, to kind of ask a question to Dr. Sudha Reddy. Dr. Ting Ho, can you, I'm promoting you to panelist, you can come on video. Be specific with your question. Yes, Dr. Ting Ho. You were supposed to ask a question to Dr. Sudha Reddy. Quickly, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah. Here's my question. I wish, first of all, to take this opportunity to salute and congratulate you, Dr. Sudha Reddy, for launching this publication. And at the same time, I wish to acknowledge the immense contributions of the Indian scientific community has made to the world. There is no doubt that you have done.
Dr. Ting Ho, you can start your video if you wish to. You are on video.
Start my video? Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. Now, there's no doubt that you and the Indian scientists have brought about revolutionary thinking in the area of sustainable agriculture, better ecosystem management, and better health for all living organisms in nature. There's in the water, in the air and the soil, and talk about the microbiomes and a lot. So I strongly share your commitment and also promoting overall health of our diverse ecosystem through scientific exploration, field research, and also in sharing of knowledge with a broader audience throughout the world, including farmer, policymakers, and the entire value chain. Now, you really are embarking on a very critical paradigm shift in the food and agriculture industry. Basically, I'm very interested, and I really admire the journey that you are embarking on to tap into the power of nature, working with her rather than against her. So here is and I wish all of you brilliant success. My question is, given the immense benefits, this highly innovative approach in transforming the food and agriculture industry, what percentage of the farmers in India are now adopting this new technology? What challenges and obstacles that you are facing, and what valuable lessons you have learned in the process that we can borrow and adopt in our respective region in Southeast Asia and China? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I should say that I've been visited China. I have a partnership with Chinese company to take it. The whole country has an organic. So they asked me to come to China, and we have an agreement with Chinese company also. Yes. And the percentage, when you ask, it is growing it very, very fast. Like I cannot tell the complete, what is that, I think organic, not organic, but the biologicals, they're using it, and the percentage is growing. And when it comes to the challenges, what I faced it by taking this one is just a hand-holding with the farmers. Be with them until they get the results, not just leaving them, not just because of sake of money, but I went to the sake of getting the results to the farmers. Even if the farmer gave me a penny also, I used to go and explain to him with a complete passion. So this is how we have to get, that is a basic challenges, but basically I had a lot of patience and I had a lot of passion towards this agriculture and the poor farmers. When there's a lot of money given me on this side, I always look towards the farmers, seeing that they should smile on their face. And I saw that in my journey, the smile on the farmers, coming back and saying that, ma'am, we have the yield is increased by 50%. Ma'am, I've repaid the loans. Ma'am, the whole people are looking at my product. And the results were amazing. So I felt, yeah, this is the need for the farmers, not only in India, I think globally.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ting Ho, for asking this beautiful question, and Dr. Sudhar.
I have to say hello to Ting Ho, sir, brother.
Yeah,
I don't know where you are. You are in Hong Kong or Malaysia or United States. I don't know.
Now
where you are.
Malaysia preparing for the World Soy Day, so I need all your support on December 5th. I'm promoting. I do my best here, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Raj.
Thank you. Next in my thing is Dr. Dilfuza. Dr. Dilfuza from Tashkent. Dr. Tingo spoke to us from Malaysia, and Dr. Dilfuza is here. Dilfuza, I have promoted to panelists. You can, if you wish, you can come on video and put your question to Dr. K.R. Kennedy.
Is she there?
Yes, she is there.
She's again, so we don't know where she is in Europe or Germany or France or Uzbekistan.
In Europe still. Hello, nice to see you all. I'm really happy to join this webinar and see you and to listen to this discussion. Is very impressive discussions and very useful information. And I have one question to the Dr. Kirkoredi. And you know, whole world is in pandemic now, and even Central Asia or in Uzbekistan, we have a lot of problems among farmers and producers. What do you think, how COVID-19 affect on the microbial product industry and the use and delivery, or the like in farmer went to quarantine some months? And also another, this question is also, what do you think, what will be this industry after pandemic?
Dilfuza, good morning. See, in fact, actually, if you look at the business part of it, so you are asking about during this pandemic, the industry. So, in fact, actually, if you look at Indian situations, we don't have much impact on Indian agriculture. Maybe initially we have a little bit setback, but it's all streamlined. We have an excellent monsoon, and very agriculture is very progressive and also very promising, no doubt at all. I think our Agriculture Commissioner is hearing here. So, but with regard to the production, yes, in fact, actually the PGPR or microbial industry is still at a nascent stage in our country, and most of the producers are small and medium. We do not have the MNCs or major companies producing microbes or biostimulants, not many. But as far as the small companies, they are able to produce and cater the niche markets. That means India is a huge, and these small companies, they are able to produce and cater to the needs of the farming community. So that part, if you look at really the need of these microbial or biostimulants, we're all talking about immunity or inbuilt resistance for a human to withstand COVID infections. So definitely our friends used to say that what you eat is what you are. So the food is important. The food comes from agriculture, and it's all coming from soil. So therefore, if you can give proper inputs to the growing plant or growing crop, and the crop will give you proper product with all the qualitative characters. What we are producing quantitative now. So because we are producing just giving NPK, etc., we have neglected about the soil, its fertility, and also giving the multi micronutrients, etc. But this is the time to what you call rethink about organic or natural organic farming. So therefore, we need to focus seriously onto the soil and organic content and microbial load or microbial populations. Once you can set right this, then definitely the plant grow healthy, and it also give healthy food. And when you eat healthy food, you will be definitely get more of immunity. Therefore, definitely most of the populations nowadays are all affected. Almost 60-65%. We do not know the data, but only 1 or 2% are infected or maybe diseased. But more or less, if you can give good food, nutritious food with all the vitamins and other things, essentials, so definitely we'll be in a position to withstand these pandemic effects. So therefore, PGPRs or PGPMs are essentials, and they improve the plant immunity, and therefore the plant can withstand disease and pests, and therefore we can reduce usage of chemicals, then the output will be tremendous. So if you take good food, and your immunity will be doubled like that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have to congratulate our sister Dilfuza. Dilfuza was the queen of Tashkent, Uzbekistan. She organized the last conference in Tashkent.
With your help. Thank you very much.
Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum.
Thank you very much.
Please, she attends all our conferences wherever we organize. She's the backbone for Asian PGPR Society, not only as a scientist, but also as a cooperative coordinator all over Europe. She knows a lot many people than me in Europe. I don't know where she is right now, maybe Germany or France. I don't know.
No, I am in Finland now.
Oh, Finland. So I don't know. I've been spending some time with her kids, I think, back home there.
Yes,
she's a citizen of that country, but lives in sometimes Tashkent and everywhere, I believe. Thank you very much, Dilfuza. To see
nice
you.
to see you all.
Next one, Raj.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Dilfuza and Dr. K.R. Reddy. Now I promote Dr. Sajia Antonios to a panelist.
Another good friend of ours. Come on.
Yeah, Dr. Antonios is speaking to us from Dr. Antonios speaking to us from Indonesia, and the question is to Dr. Devnur, Venkatesh Devnur.
He is from Bogor, Indonesia. He was our ex-chairman to organize one of the best in Bogor, Indonesia. Was the fifth Asian PGPR International Conference held in Bogor. Dr. Antonios.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. It's very nice one to join in this very great webinar. Actually, I have so many questions, but I already got the answer. So maybe it's not necessary to give a question. But by the way, I will just give a question, very simple one, with Dr. V. So, what is your experience in India? How familiar is the farmer with biostimulant? How familiar? Because this maybe we can compare with in Indonesia. If maybe sometimes you will sell your product in Indonesia, and what is the strategy to change the mindset of farmer from chemical using fertilizer to organic one? And this is very important if we want to bring the product to the market. And the last one is how we can keep the quality, because sometimes in the small scale the product is very good, but if you bring this product in Indonesia, we don't know. So what is the strategy to keep the quality high and will be acceptable for the farmer? Thank you.
Good questions. Good question, Dr. Anton. You know, right now, Anton is the president of the Indonesian chapter of Asian PGPR Society. With his help, Dr. Lu is going to organize their national conference in Bali, Indonesia, hoping sometime next year. I think two questions very important, Dr. V. How you can convince the mentality of the farmer instead of using a chemical to use the PGPR type of product, number one. And how you maintain the quality of your product from package to delivery through the introduction wherever need to be introduced on a seed, in the soil, or on the cellophane, whatever. Dr. Anton has a lot of products in his own lab in Bogor, but he need a technology, people like you to move, but he has some company, giant pineapple company behind him. So I brought him to the panelists today, and he needs to learn some of the way how to do it. But he's a researcher, just like me. So I think we need a lot of interaction from Indonesia, and the Indonesian products can bring back to India, or they need some technology. They don't need your product, our product. They have a product. His lab has a lot of products, but I think that lab needs some help, technical help, and entrepreneurial help. He's a simple man, dedicated scientist. I think 25 people, graduate students, postdocs, scientists working in his lab. I think some of us saw his lab. So go ahead, Dr. V.
Thank you, Professor and Dr. Yes. Thank you. It's a very relevant question. We have a similar situation in India. About 140 million farmers cultivate about 140 million hectares of land. Just about 1 hectare per family of 4 people. 90% of the cultivators, farmers, are this small 1 hectare farmers. Number 2, this land is further fragmented and marginalized by one father having 2 sons, etc. Further it comes down. But luckily, what has happened? The young generation of farmers, out of these 140 million farmers, I would say 60% of farmers are literate. They are tech savvy. They know what is WhatsApp. They know what is a digital medium. They all here. And then we have another very skewed situation. Government of India gives about $10–11 billion subsidy on urea, example. And the urea, because it's cheap, and phosphatic fertilizers, potash fertilizers, price went up. The skewed use of urea happened for the last 10–15 years. Now, the soil health is degraded drastically. Soil organic carbon has come down. Luckily, present generation of farmers, when we are seeing now, they are more progressive in their mind. They do understand my soil is not healthy. The word has come into the brain now. When we as industry, scientists, government of India, talk to these farmers, look, soil health is eroded. Soil microflora has been eroded. Soil carbon has come down. They're willing to listen. And that is the biggest plus point we're trying to feed now. This young generation of farmers are willing to listen. Now, it's for us as industry and all stakeholders, how do we communicate a positive message? Show them the result. Number two question is more relevant. How we give them and deliver them consistent product. A tropical country like India, Indonesia, same story. Suppose I go with same old knowledge of my school. Azotobacter is good nitrogen fixing bacteria. Textbook story. But then my soil temperature may be 35, 40 degree Celsius. Gram-negative bacteria will not survive. Azospirilla, beautiful, but will not survive. As an industry, what we try to do, can we have a gram-positive bacteria, a spore-forming bacteria, for same nitrogen fixation? For example, Penibacillus azotofixins. Do spray drying at 180 degrees Celsius, spray dried product, 70 degree drop down. It can work anyway. Phosphorus solubilizing bacteria, Bacillus megatherium. Like if you go more towards as industry, understand the pain points of farmers and look at a stable formulation by largely example a gram-positive bacteria, and then make a blend. Farmers, land is ecosystem. We can't sensitize with one bacteria. A basket we remove by putting urea, DAP, or spraying pesticides. They will kill it for the last 50 years. Tomorrow morning, I can't improve it. I need to give again a consortium approach. Soil ecosystem loves it. How do we improve organic carbon? That is organic, the health of the soil. This is a challenge, but we're happy to share with you. I'm sure I've been traveling Indonesia, Malaysia, Bangladesh, or all over subcontinent. Farmers today have an intention, willing to listen. That's the biggest challenge, opportunity for us. I think we're in the right stage to move forward rightly. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Devnu, and thanks, Dr. Antonius, for joining. And it's too late for you. I'm sure it is already, midnight past? Yes, yeah. Yes. And now we have another speaker. I'm upgrading to panelists, again, midnight past, Dr. Neelu. And Dr. Nee, you're there? Yes.
She never sleeps too.
Yeah.
That's why she took the task of organizing the next conference of their national conference in Bali. Go ahead.
Dr. Nee, in case you wish to come on video, you can come. I've upgraded to panelist. And put a question to Dr. M.S. Reddy.
Oh. We communicate every day, so go ahead.
Yeah, you're there? She's joined, but I think there's some issue with her audio.
Maybe she's drinking Bali tea. She produced a tea from her own red rice, from her research.
I think we'll get back to her once she...
move to a different one. Go ahead.
I think, okay. Then meanwhile, I have some attendees, our audience delegates who have raised their hands. Let me go to them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. To begin with, let me start with Kari Ellen. Please unmute yourself and put a question to whomever you specifically want to. Dr. Kari, are you there? Mr. Kari? Miss Kari? Okay, we'll get back to you. Dr. Rajkumar Jain. Oh, she has come. Oh, he has come. Okay. Yes. Kari, can you unmute and put the question? Okay. Rajkumar Jain. Dr. Rajkumar Jain.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Sir, my question is regarding the insertion of biostimulants in FCU. There are already some biostimulants like gibberellic acid 0.001% L in CIV. And so I want to know what will be the status of biostimulants that are already registered in CIV after inserting them into the FCU.
I think, though it's not mentioned, this question, I think sir has understood. Yes.
I think
No,
Dr. S.K. Malhotra sir will answer this question.
Meanwhile,
I don't think so.
Dr. Jain, can you introduce yourself quickly?
Yes, sir. I am Dr. R.K. Jain. I am a principal scientist in Insecticide India Limited. We have 7-8 biological products, including mycorrhizal biofertilizer, NPK consortium, zinc solubilizing bacteria.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Jain Saab, Dr. Malhotra is not, I think, is
Yeah, he's there.
No,
Dr.
he's
Malhotra
here.
is there.
Yeah,
He's been attentive, watching. Very
well,
Go ahead.
I would
Go
like
ahead.
to reply his query. I would like to address his query. In fact, his question is that a Central Insecticide Board Registration Committee has already accorded permission for registration of the zebralic acid and many other growth substances. So here, so for this point of view, I would like to mention here that only biostimulants will be registered through this Central Biostimulant Committee. Zebralic acid and all other kind of chemicals and chemical hormones, those will remain as such. So later on, it will be discussed and deliberated that how we can shift them to this Central Biostimulant Committee. Otherwise, it will remain as such. Because many of the people, they are having license, they are having registration with them. So I think status quo will be maintained for some time until some kind of guidelines are prepared or some kind of decisions are taken. So you need not to worry. I remember that your company is already having so many registrations related to this plant growth regulators.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Jain, Dr. Malhotra, sir. Now I go to R.K. Goel. Can you unmute yourself and speak, Goelji?
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and very nice. I am seeing last 3 hours this program. Compliment to all of you. I represent Cytogem US here, and really, only thing is that Dr. Malhotra, to you that we as a Cytogem, we are working in India last almost 35 years. But when the regulation comes in, we were waiting for these guidelines like that. Definitely, I was speaking to my management in US. So how we will be keeping ourselves safe? That like one of the panelists told that one stick and one drum can be given the product to the market like that. How we can communicate to the farmer, because today farmer is feeling that he should get the quality product. No doubt, biostimulant is going to increase the farmer's income. I am in this company last 10 years working in India for South Asia as a business head. So I also want to contribute from our company so that India farmers get the very good quality products. How we, Dr. Malhotra, we ensure that technology is being safe to there is no piracy or there is nothing happens to our technology actually.
I think here you shall be conducting, I mean any of the company whosoever will submit their dossier, applicant, I should use the word. Whenever applicant will submit his proposal, so he needs to submit bioefficacy data and then chemical related information, chemistry, and then packaging, then toxicology related information, data they need to generate and they will submit along with the dossier. And Dr. Venkatesh also made it clear that we need to have shelf life data to prove the real-time storage stability. And then another point relates to packaging. Then legal aspect will also be there. So in a whole sum, we need to submit the data as such, and then that will be by the committee for further according the permission for that purpose. So this is one aspect. So another part which you are mentioning that here you mean quality assurance system. So quality assurance system will definitely, it will come in force, because here stable formulations, Venkatesh also mentioned in his presentation. So stable formulations we need to have. How you will prove that your formulation is stable, and we need to prove through the quality assurance system, if anybody wants to check your product, that initially what kind of initial data which you submitted to the Central Biostimulant Committee, that should match with that. Some kind of equivalence will be established, some kind of comparison will be done to know that the product whatsoever you have, that is matching with the initial claim which you have made. So this is one part. Quality assurance system is definitely we need to have, and it will be linked with this, and states, they will provide the license. So states, they will provide the license, they shall be having the inspection system mechanism, which we already have for fertilizers. So same inspectors, all inspectors, they will work for biostimulants also. So laboratories, you were also mentioning, somebody mentioned that GLP, I think Venkatesh only he mentioned. So GLP laboratories and others, we have already taken a decision that here the Committee of Central Insecticide Board, they have a well-established system for impaneling the laboratories. So we have drawn some parameters, and all those laboratories whosoever meet those parameters, we impanel them, and through those impaneled laboratories only the test has to be done. And I think almost all the laboratories are NABL accredited, and many of the laboratories GLP accredited they are, because most of the laboratories whoever have these toxicological data they need to generate, they are GLP accredited. GLP, I should say, GLP approved laboratories are there. So this kind of system, I think it will come in force, and states they will implement, and then quality assurance system automatically it will come in force. That's the basic objective for having a regulatory system for.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and
Thanks.
really we appreciate. Yeah.
Thanks, Goelji, for staying back for so long, and Dr. Malhotra, sir. I mean, now I think it's time to, I mean, it was like a blockbuster show, more than 3 hours, and still people are intact, all of us. I'm very sorry that, you know, it would have been a regular conference, we would have had a tea break, would have had little cookies, sandwiches and all. But incidentally, you know, we couldn't do at such times. You need to manage where you are sitting from your homes. Now this is a time to, I would call it as a takeaway. And with the permission of Asian PGPR and BIPA, I'm sure they would agree with me. Earlier, we had actually planned a takeaway from Dr. MS Reddy, but very rarely someone gets an opportunity, welcome and valedictory function coming from the same person. So,
cool.
Yeah, so we would also request Dr. Malhotra to kind of also give a valedictory address to today's observation. So to begin with, Professor MS Reddy, and then the last word from Commissioner Malhotra.
See, as you said, you know, beginning there and ending, I'm here. With that, I don't have anything else. I'll say thank you very much to everyone. Namaskar, Dhanyavad. I would ask Dr. Malhotra ji to conclude. I mean, give your the last wisdom words to this webinar between Asian PGPR and the BIPA. Then with you, after that, I think you conclude with a word of thanks by Srinivas.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. You're right. We have discussed a lot, and many good things have been discussed here. But I think nothing is left over. But few points I would like to add into, and I would like to even respond to a few of the queries which were made. So it will become a part of my last concluding remarks, which I would like to give here. I remember Venkatesh mentioned that Essential Commodity Act. I would like to mention here that this biostimulants will not be covered in Essential Commodity Act. So Essential Commodity Act is only applicable for those fertilizers which are subsidized: urea, DAP, muriate of potash. So these are only three fertilizers which are subsidized. It will be applicable only for the subsidized one. It will not be applicable for biostimulants. And these biostimulants we have kept under the rules category because we have a kind of liberty. So we have linked it in the rules, FCO rules we have. So it is not in exactly, it is not in fertilizer control order, though it is in FCO. But we have reflected in our FCO rules. So in rules, we have a little liberty to give a kind of freedom. So this is one point. Another is that now there is every fear that a lot of import will happen. No, I think import will not happen, but we would like to promote Make in India. If anybody wants to make in India, definitely we would like to have a kind of I should say a separate category for providing them a registration, and those will be done at the very faster rate. So I don't think even in some cases import may also happen, but here we want that Make in India should happen, and Make in India we used to promote. So this will be our strategy. And then another point relates to that now already we have a Central Insecticide Board Registration Committee for pesticides. Then we have a Central Fertilizer Committee for fertilizers. A lot of customized fertilizers are also now being registered. But for biostimulants, now we shall be having a Central Biostimulant Committee. But now a demand is coming from the industry side that there are several soil conditioners, soil amendments, bioremediation, some kind of, I should say, microbial power to say that we need to adopt. So we need to register. Who will register them? So there is no any agency which is available with us to register such. We need to have a quality assurance system. Until unless you regulate them, you will not be having a quality assurance system. So we need to have a regulatory system for bioremediations, and then soil amenders, soil conditioners, even biochar. Many people they are asking we want to do for biochar. So, but we don't have any kind of system here in the country. But we need to have, so discussion is on, and I already put the ball rolling here in the ministry for discussion that whether we should consider this part or not. So this is again an area where we need to put focus, and many of our colleagues they mentioned about the microbes. But here I could see that we have an 8 list of biostimulants. So here no living microbes have been mentioned into it. Here cell-free cultures, cell-free products, those will only be considered as a biostimulants. If you have a kind of claim that yes, it will provide a kind of bio-enhancing biostimulant properties, which will provide for it. So I think now it's a good time. I remember when our colleague from Sri Lanka, he was making a presentation. He was clearly showing the difference between the two products, where soybean is one of the crop. And in my inaugural address, I also mentioned that we need to use these biostimulants to provide a kind of support. So it is well proven now that biostimulants will definitely play a greater role for, enhancing the productivity, as well as quality of the produce. So I think this is another emerging area where India will establish such facilities for its promotion, for its export, as well as even for meeting our own demand. Then after meeting our own demand, then it will also be I should say that it will also be exported. So thank you so much. I think future is future is very bright, and I congratulate to BIPA as well as to Asian PGPR Society for wonderful organization of this event. I think a lot of input has come. This input is really very much valuable for me in person. What I would like to mention here, because I got the many ideas, many points from your side, because I don't have background like this. But anyway, the input from industry sector, from academia, it's really very valuable. So my thanks to everybody. I really
thank you, Malhotra-ji. One question to you. The Indian
Yes.
government provided subsidies for the fertilizers. Why not the Indian government give subsidies these biostimulants, PGPR style products? Is anything you guys are all thinking about? Providing subsidies means.
So now, in fact, yeah, it's a really one of the important question these days. It is in discussion now. So government is not thinking to provide any kind of subsidy to such kind of biostimulants or other products. Even government is going to withdraw that subsidy from industry, and they will give. And we are thinking to give subsidy. I should say on nutrient-based subsidy that is now it's under consideration. Another point, we are also going to make it compulsory that along with the bag, they need to purchase these biofertilizers also. So we can put one condition that they will purchase these biostimulants also, but those biostimulants should be cost effective, just like biofertilizers, because biofertilizers, they cost 20 rupees or 50 rupees, not more than that per bag or along with that. So farmer can afford it. But if biostimulants are also so cost effective, and I should say, if they are cost effective, those could also be tagged with the chemical fertilizers. But we need to have studies that how will be the performance, what kind of bioefficacy results will be there if we tag them, and if anybody wants to apply them in a combination as a combination product. I think we need to get data if we need to really promote our products. I think this is my reply. I hope you will be satisfied. Please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Malhotra, for this amazing, wrap up and again inputs. For the friends, most of you are not aware. Today is one of the very important festivals for some of us who come from north of India, called Karwa Chauth. And our wives are hungry sitting at home. They didn't eat anything. I'm sure Dr. Malhotra, the same. In spite of that, he's sitting with us all the time. Now with this, I think I request, invite our Joint Secretary BIPA, Srinivas, to propose vote of thanks, and it's been an awesome thing. Srinivas, please unmute yourself.
Unmute, Srinivas. Thank you, Raj. It was a great session, and we really made it. It was a wonderful session today with contributors from all the speakers. I thank Dr. Malhotra, Commissioner of Agriculture, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, who has kindly taken out time from his busy schedule to launch BIPA's first news, echo, voice, and delivered keynotes. I thank Dr. Professor M.S. Reddy, the moderator, and a brilliant facilitator, and discussion covered on all the aspects. Dr. Dilanto Fernando, Dean, University of Manitoba, Canada. Dr. John Peter, Vice President, BIPA. Dr. K.R.K. Reddy, President, BIPA. Dr. Srinivasan Ramaswamy, Flagship Program Leader, World Vegetable Center, Taiwan. Dr. Sudha Reddy, Joint Secretary, BIPA. Dr. Venkatesh Devanur, Secretary, BIPA. I especially thank all our audience, delegates who attended in large number today's webinar and who have always been supportive. Thank you one and all. Good night and have a safe day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Srinivas. And thank you all the BIPA executive body members and the executive director, Dr. Raj Agarwal. Thank you all. And we will be in touch on behalf of Asian PGPR Society if the BIPA needed. And we'll communicate, coordinate, help each other. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
With the permission, sir, I have a request. In fact, actually, can brought out a small report from this meeting so that we can present to the Commissioner of Agriculture. So all the discussions and the outcome of this.
I think Raj and his office will be listening the recorded video and the charts on the right side playing, and questions and answers we already have. Mainly from here, taking the main panelists' answers, and Dr. Malhotra-ji's his talk, his ideas, and his comments, we'll put together. As you all know how busy I am, but you are all also very busy, and you have executive director on behalf of BIPA. They can put together a draft or look into it, and we will. Not only submit to Malhotra-ji, submit to every government of Asian countries. Why not? We are free guys. We are non-profit people. So I have no doubt in my mind. So we'll do that. Otherwise, there's no point of having this kind of meeting, in my opinion. So, and we'll publicize those comments. And if Malhotra-ji and these ICR Director General, if not, as a Indian, though, even though I don't have a citizenship in India, as an American, I will write to Prime Minister Modi-ji. I will submit, after not immediately, if some of these bureaucrats won't respond to us, we will submit to, Modi-ji, because his vision for the farmers, double the income of the farmers.
Sorry to interrupt, Professor. I think we are very, very, very fortunate today. Our internal team, BIPA, we had a discussion last evening, this morning, and especially Secretary Dr. Devnur, he was mentioning several times to me, कि Raj, aajkal, how our commissioners, secretaries, and vice chancellors are working. At any point of time, the Prime Minister whom we are mentioning, he'll pick up the phone and talk to these guys to get their inputs. So ultimately, these are the people who would help us and ask him to get the things done. I think
yes, right. That's good.
And that's it. We were worried whether, even 10 minutes Dr. Malhotra would spend with us, but we are fortunate 4 hours. Oh my God.
Right. That's why I asked
all years to us.
That's why I asked him. So if he can come on to live ICR Director G, then listen to him. I participated 2 weeks ago called Prime Minister Modi Vaibhav Summit. I mentioned to that. I'm in that panel. I think we need to put, no pressures. Those are big people. So no pressures, just requests with a solid scientific backgrounds. Then, of course, USDA in the United States, I don't know who will be the next president. Here, president, we don't need a president. I mean, I have access to USDA, EPA, Canadian PMRA, and European Commission. We'll do this thing. We'll do. I think we'll resolve. I think next time when we all meet in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, we'll come to some kind of white paper.
Dr. Reddy, basically we all are the technical persons. So I'm a technical background and I always enjoy such technical discussions. So a lot of science and technology we have discussed today. I think we have relished that science and technology whatsoever we have discussed. But we need to translate in the form of regulatory system that we are doing. So that's right. That's a kind of input which we have received. So we need to keep away the political system. We all are technocrats.
That's true.
Yeah. So our recommendations in a technical form will be more useful to us. And we need to see further. We need to see that how we can bring into in action mode. That's very important. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. So we have invited you for this forum. So we're also inviting you for our future Asian PGPR conferences. Your voice with our voice together become a big voice around the globe.
Thank you. Amazing. So with all your permission, we'll thank you once again.
Thank you all.
Thank
you.
all.
Bye-bye. Good night. Stay safe in this pandemic times. God bless.
Bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now, finally, we need to thank Raj Agarwal for this wonderful coordination, cooperation, moderating, and sending out emails, WhatsApps. Oh, he's working tirelessly day in, day out with his assistants and whoever he has in his office. And wonderful, Raj. That's why I told you a few weeks ago, you will be working for us, Asian PGPR Society, and as an executive, whatever the title you needed, we will provide you, but no money support. But we'll make you money. So I'll pay from my pocket. Don't worry if you needed money. So thank you very much, sir. Without your help, it's impossible. It's impossible.
No, as Commissioner said, for the
me spending on 5 minutes on something, it takes a lot of effort to put together, put a few words on a piece of paper on WhatsApp message. You know. So thank you very much.
I'm honored. Thank you.
We salute you on behalf of BIPA and Asian PGPR. Take care. God bless your family. God bless BIPA. God bless Asian PGPR. God bless all the participants and the speakers. Thank you all. I'm signing off. I'm still not declared our president. 2:38. 2:30. I'm speaking the slide. I have a few more things to cover up today. My started day, so I have so many things today. Thank you all. We'll see you hopefully someday, sometime.
Thank you, Tingo.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Raj. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you, all the members of BIPA.
Thank you, Siddharth. Nice seeing you.
Thank you, Professor.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.